What is going on?
What is up?
Hey, it's Gene from Camel City Brick House.
Drew from Drew Bricks.
Dan from Brickmania.
And Richard from
Welcome to Bricking with the Beard.
Heck yeah. You did it again, Richard, where you cut yourself on.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate that intro. I hate it. I gotta change it.
Bricking with the Beard.
It's so weird. I was trying to find somebody else's voice to do it,
Yeah.
and fooling with Adobe long enough, I came up with that, and I was like, I don't really like that. But
So did you actually do that yourself and then just pitch correct it or what?
yeah, like Adobe has a bunch of things you can download that are like preset voices, and I think that was called like horror character, like 1 or 2 or something like that.
Nice. Excellent.
It's horrible.
So I know you
Drew the
weren't
Horror
here, right? I know you weren't here last week, Dan, but we do our weeks basically off by Wednesday. So from last Wednesday, how has your week been?
It's been good. I've been busy. I've been back and forth between. I'm in Florida right now. I live in Florida, but Brickmania is in Minneapolis and Minnesota. So I've been back and forth in that time between now and then.
Heck yeah. Very cool. Very
yeah.
cool.
I broke it to my wife yesterday. I asked Dan something, and he told me that he could get it done. And if we do this, we've got to take the whole entire World War II thing to Minnesota. She was like, what? And I was like, yeah. I was like, it's like a 16-hour drive. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah.
If you could do it, that'd be great. But I understand that's and traveling is not easy.
But that'll be my Brick Fair Virginia is always like the must for me. I know a lot of people say Brick World Chicago, but that's just like it's whatever. I haven't been to it yet, so I'm gonna keep saying that it's not the best because if you never try something, it ain't the best, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And then there's like 2 or 3 around this area. But I will cancel one of those because it's not very big, and we just head that way. I don't think what I plan to do with the World War II will be that bad to transport because it's not tall. Like the castle is like 3.5 foot tall.
Yeah.
Like I'm not building 3.5 foot tall buildings for.
Are you trying to do that for World War Brick 2024 or 2025?
25.
Yeah. Okay. Because say you're gonna start planning now.
Yeah, that's why I told you now. Like I wanted to plan for next. So
yeah.
The castle will come apart in August.
Okay.
For Brick Fair. And then I plan to do a Clone Wars for Brick Fair 25.
Sure.
And then that way I could have I should have all the pieces I need to where when the Clone Wars mock comes apart, the World War II just go together.
Right.
I don't know why I keep calling it World War II. I just need to call it Battle of the Bulge.
Whatever works for you.
So how about you, Rich?
We got a bunch of people in the chat already. Rob Claxton, Jesse Mack, Lego History Sam.
Yeah.
David Krause is in here. He said, hey, we're going to get to talk to him later. Tori's here.
Tori, my wife
Stud's here.
Brick
Babe's here. Will's
here. Trevor.
Ives here. Haley's here.
Stud.
Renee. Spooky. Lego History. Hi to me. I don't know. And Jesse Mack. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought about looking at that. I was like, that says I think me at the end, but I'm not sure what the rest of that.
I was like,
if you would have just fell out of your chair.
I was pretty close there, dude.
We could have ended the stream and quit for the night.
There's your clip, bro.
We got Rusty in the house. But yeah, my week's been I'm gonna tell you what, building the castle is easier than coming up with how to do a short every day for a year. I challenged myself and I was like, this is going to be no problem. I was like, I've got enough stuff down here. Like, it'll be no problem. And it's becoming a problem.
Well, you get brain block especially with the pressures on.
Well, it's like I could build a set and that set is one short. And then it's like, okay, well, I built that set, push it to the side. And it's like, well, now, I can't build 365 sets.
Yeah, true that.
You could build the same one 365 times.
I could.
There you go.
I don't know if your viewership will increase.
It sounds like a Mr. Beast kind of like video. I built the same set for 365 days.
Somebody did challenge me. They told me to take like a 500 to 600 piece set and build it and time myself and build it faster. Like see if I could build it faster every time. And I was like, that would be really easy to do because I could just build it once and change the time every time. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
When I was building those not turbo tanks, the Republic fighter tanks, I had 9 of those. By by set number 4, I built it without instructions. So I don't want to sit here and take the same set apart.
What about doing it in a different location?
That could be.
There you go.
There's a road trip in there somewhere.
I was about to say I've got work, and then I've got like 5, 6 rooms in the house.
Yeah.
This is me and my bathroom.
You can come to Tennessee where I'm at. You could do a build in my Lego room. Just do a whole week of just videos.
He could do a build where he snagged a bunch of the parts.
Exactly. Right?
I could come to your house like Friday and make like 4 or 5 videos.
Yeah.
And be set. Just come in and take stuff and leave.
This guy.
You said take with a K, right?
Huh? No.
Nice. How about you, Gene? How was your week?
Man, I got to tell you, it's crazy. And I think Renee will concur with it. A bunch of people online still complaining about not having Bricklink orders, and we're running at a record pace right now. You're going to see some of the orders tonight. There's some pretty dadgum big orders, a couple of them from viewers.
Heck yeah. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some more people. What's up, Shy? How's it going? Spooky 2 Bricks.
We got Hoarder in the house.
He said he hopped on blind by random chance. I didn't know Dan would be on. I've been a BKM customer and supporter for 7 years now.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's at least 4 or 5 people that are in the chat now that have been subject to Dan's involvement.
I recognize some names there.
There was
you see Stud talking about going to the Kobe store in Warsaw, Poland.
Nice.
I've never bought a Kobe set just because I think they look horrible. I don't like them.
No comment from me. I sell quite a few of them, so I really like. It would be hypocritical for me to say anything at all negative when I personally own hundreds of their sets.
Just out of curiosity, besides y'all, where can you get them? Like I know online, obviously, but
well, I think their big thing that I've seen them is at like museums. So if you go to the Air Force Museum, for example, half their gift shop is Kobe.
How do you get you in there?
We put out cheaper stuff. So, I mean, we're making limited edition kits. And limited edition figures. It's more of like an piece of art. And there's no way we could supply, handmade items in that sort of quantity or in that sort of price range that would be museum gift shop oriented. I mean, it's just not going to happen. We do a couple things for a couple museums, but they're our friends. We support them and we make exceptions and we make them special figures. But otherwise, it's not something that we are in a position that we can pursue.
Mm-hmm.
I completely get that. I never thought that you would go to a museum. Like I know that for some odd reason, at least down here in North Carolina, it seems like every like science center museum thing that we got has tons of puzzles in it, which I guess for a kid, it's a really like interactive building experience. So, but they all have tons of puzzles in them.
Well, I mean, it's not a little known secret, but I think a lot of those museum gift shops are run by the same companies. Really? So there's like a few, I don't know what they're called, but they run gift shops. It's like that's what they do. And so like, instead of the institution running its own gift shop, they sort of farm it out to this third party, and they seem to have all the same stuff in every museum. And you're like, oh, I recognize this because the same puzzle that you're talking about was at like the last 5 museums I went to. But there's a few that take, that really do their own thing. And they have gift shops.
Y'all should branch out like how the museums and the zoos and everything have stuffed animals. Y'all need like like a stuffed MG42. That would be nice.
You know, the Tank Museum in England. This is actually run by. It's on the Bovington camp. This is where the Royal Armor Corps has its tank training facility. They have their own museum there, and in their museum they have stuff like that. They have inflatable 88 shells and Panzerfaust. And we were at an event. We got invited to an event there last year, and we had no idea what we were in for. And around the corner, we were like in a tent selling Brickmania stuff. And around the corner was a tent that they were selling stuff for reenactors. And by the end of the show, everybody at the Brickmania booth had some crazy helmet or hat. So I bought like some officer hat, and we had, Simon who's with us bought like a German U-boat commander's hat. And so when you walked into our tent, we were all wearing these dumb hats, but this is that's the kind of crowd that we sort of hang out with anyway. So
now, I started to go down a slippery slope, and I've not went overboard yet, but I got a buddy who might be in here later, but he lives about 45 minutes away from me. His name is Legion, and he was joking with me, and I was like, I really wanted a Stahlhelm.
Oh.
And he was like, well, dude, I can get you one, because where I'm at now, there's no like army surplus stores or antique shops that are going to sell anything like that. Right. But down where he's at, they're like everywhere. So like he got it one for me, and I was like, now I need like a still pot. And then he got one for me, and I was like, dude, stop. I was like, right. Just quit.
we have a growing collection. I have to stop myself from buying them. So we have in the studio, we know when we do our videos, you can see some of them on the shelf, and we're getting to the point where like we got to hide some of this. The people are going to think we have a problem. There's like we have too many Stahlhelms. Like they're going to think we're Nazis or something. So we have to collect in moderation. And
the one thing that I want that I'm not going to say I've not been able to find it because they're out there. It's just a lot of them are. They're not even like I don't even care that it's a replica. It's just the fact of finding one that I trust to order from like a website. But they're I can't even tell you what it's called because I can't pronounce it or know the camo pattern. But it's a weird camo pattern from World War II, and they're like German windbreakers.
Oh, right, that's
it's like dark green and orange. And I think it's called like the Flocken pattern or something like that.
Flecktarn or something like that.
Yeah. And I want one. I want one bad, and like I can't seem to find one anywhere except for online. And if it's like a legit website, they're just sold out. And if they have them in stock, it looks like it's really sketchy. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you want a real one and you're gonna want to wear around this artifact,
no, I don't want a real one. I don't care about that.
Yeah. There's websites and there's companies that cater to reenactors. And some reenactors are real picky. They only wear real stuff. But then there's others that are like, we can't afford that. We'll buy whatever's close enough to suit our needs. Or they change their reenactment year to year. They can't afford to buy equip themselves with all this real old authentic stuff. So they get reproductions. And I don't think there's anything wrong with reproduction.
I think a real Stahlhelm, last time I checked, at least online, was like $300 to $700 depending on condition and insignias and everything else, and a replica's like $40.
Yep.
Just give me the replicas all day.
Sometimes the replicas are plastic and weigh a lot less than the real thing.
The one I have is metal, and it's like it's very weird to know. The one I have is real, but it's from like the Spanish War, I believe.
Right.
And it's really weird to know that like that's what they were being protected by.
Well, and then I think it's more of a psychological protection, but I mean the protection's nominal. It's not going to stop a bullet.
No, a bullet's going through that.
Yeah. Maybe a shell splinter or something. But a lot of reenactors will actually wear plastic just because they don't want to have that. If they're out in the field for 12 hours a day, wearing that stupid thing, they're not used to it.
Yeah, true.
Lego historian Sam said he wants to know how the USS Samuel B. Roberts is going.
Well, it's going. I've been working on it all day, so I can't show it to you because it's on the table behind the computer. But I started this morning with 30 inches of hull, about this long of the bow section of the ship done. And now we're up to 75, so I've more than doubled in size.
That's awesome.
The whole thing is 105 inches long, so I have 30 more inches of hull to build.
Wow.
The stern section, and the hull will be done. I can start putting the deck on. I have 7 days to build this, including today. So 6 days after today.
You're tiling that too, though, aren't you?
What's that?
You're going to tile that too, though, aren't you?
Oh yeah, it's already. The first 5 feet are already tiled.
So I was about to say, like, people think that they're like, oh, you can just, I mean, like, still sitting there snapping those down continuously takes
I was
time.
thinking about it, but I think that'd be annoying if I was sitting here clicking away.
Hey, if you need to do it, do it.
No, I'll do it later. I've been doing it all day. My fingers could probably use a break. So
It's like I find it really funny how, I mean, I'm not going to say you do, but I know I do. Like my castle has to be done by March.
Yeah.
and now it's the end of the March, and I'm like, well, I got 2 months, but it's like I literally don't have 2 months.
Mhm.
I'm getting there, but I'm not quite there. So the 7 days factor is a lot more of a I guess scramble than what I'm dealing with.
Well, I knew this was coming. This is for that Brick by Brick show in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, actually. Same difference. I knew it was coming, so I started working on it a little bit here and there, and was able to get all my Bricklink and my Lego orders in well ahead of time. So now it's just if I don't have it in my collection or handy at Brickmania or something, I'm kind of screwed. But I think I ordered enough pieces that all I have to do now is build.
That's one of the things that I am waiting on. So I had a Lego Pick-a-Brick cart that had all the I had 100 more Black Falcons in it, and then I think it was 50 of the 16 by 16 light bluish gray plates, and I went to go order them in December, and apparently like it had my cart, but it wouldn't let it go through because it weren't bestseller.
Oh, right.
So I had to wait till the end of December. I think it was like January 1st, maybe, when they opened back up.
They opened it back up, right?
So I ordered them like the day they opened them back up, but now we're December 24th. I mean, January 24th. Yeah. I still don't have them.
Yeah, the clock starts ticking the minute you hit the order button. What did they say? 28 days.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 5. It says it's supposed to be before 5 weeks.
Right, and that changes.
Yeah.
So back in October, I think their website said 28 days, and then it went up. It kept incrementally increasing. So right before they shut it down, it was said 45 days.
Well,
I'm still waiting for my November orders. So
I think they definitely want to give themselves enough time to where they don't look bad, but they don't also want to tell you, because nobody wants to. Even you as a business owner don't want to be like, hey, we'll have it there in 3 days and then it show up in 4. You'd rather tell them it'd be there in 5 and it show up in 4.
Right. Well, that's one thing about Europe, but especially Scandinavia, that's a little different, is that they shut down. I mean, things shut down. They literally tell people to go home for the holidays, and they plan their work. That's just part of the culture. They plan their work around this and shut down everything except maybe restaurants and grocery stores.
All right, I'm moving.
Yeah. So if you ever get offered a job at Lego, it's probably worth taking it just to go to Denmark and not have to pick a brick orders over the holidays. But I mean, it's part of the culture. Like in certain countries like Holland, everything's closed on Monday. You can't do anything. It's like by law you can't certain times. Yeah.
Over here in America, we're just like, let's make it all 24/7, baby.
That's why the economy's humming.
You don't need days off. Get to work.
And I haven't had a day off. I think the last day off I had was probably around June. So I work 7 days a week.
But is it that bad though?
No. That's the life of a business owner.
Yeah.
I have jobs that I have to do here, and then I have to make sure everything else is running smooth. So, and I have other people. I don't think anybody else works as much as I do, but I do definitely have people that are on call 7 days a week because we have retail stores. We're open 7 days a week. Our website's running 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So
how many employees do you have in total right now?
I don't have a running total. I have a vague idea. I think we're around 50. And that does fluctuate because there's certain people that are part-time, certain people that are full-time. And what do you count a part-time person who maybe works 1 or 2 shifts a week at the store?
Right.
I think we did at one point this year reach a threshold that we had the 50 equivalent full-time people.
Nice.
It was last year.
Wow.
But we've had to scale back a little bit. I mean, we're in this sort of like post-COVID, there's that post-COVID boom. Now we're in the bust.
Yeah.
So people aren't ordering as much as they were. We did have to shrink our crew down the last 2 years, and now we're kind of at the smallest we can be, and we're like, we need to get more people. We're finally running into a position like, okay, we have enough money that we can hire back some of the people that we had to, like, unfortunately say, hey, we can't afford everybody.
Yeah.
Sweet, I'll take the job.
Yeah. the former Brickmania employees that had to take time off, they get priority.
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely, like, you know, not only these people I work with and I'm their employer, but they're also friends of mine, and I want to make sure that they are treated as part of the family.
Yeah,
I've been talking to Victor, who owns Eclipse Graphics and Brick Warriors, like, God, every day for the past year and a half. And, like, we just constantly, like, bounce ideas off of each other or, like, come up with new things. And I was joking with him yesterday, and I was like, when are you just going to rehome me to Georgia and hire me? And he was like, it's easier because I'm not paying you anything now.
Yeah. Think of all the hurdles you'd have to go through, hoops you'd have to jump through if you hired somebody that wasn't in his family.
Yeah. Right.
Somebody told me that I think it was at Brick Fair. They came up to me and they were like, man, you have a lot of Brick Warrior stuff in here. Are you, like, giving this stuff? And I was like, no, I have to buy it. And they were like, yeah, but you're friends with them. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to support them. And they were like, well, you know, that's kind of weird. And I'm like, no, it isn't. I'm like, that, you know, don't worry. Like, I'm being compensated in a way, but it's like, I would rather take free product than I would as a job, just because I'm going to buy it either way. So might as well take the free product than.
Right. Well, and small operators like, you know, Brick Warriors and Eclipse, you know, they're not exactly, like, bursting at the seams with money for promotional stuff too. So yeah, I think I always tell people, like, if you really support somebody, buy it. You know, that's the easiest way you can show their support. Don't ask them, hey, can I do a promo? I mean, it's worth asking, but the expectation should probably not be there.
Oh yeah. I mean, it goes back to what we were joking about before the stream. I mean, being in your position, I mean, you get messaged every day about how you should do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the time. If I pop, I mean, it's in the comments. But yeah, you know, it's everybody has their interests, their specific needs, and of course, I'm going to take the time to listen, and I actually appreciate when people tell me what they want, because it's certainly a lot easier to make something that people want when they tell you they want it than to, like, try to convince them they want some great idea that I have that everybody else thinks is really stupid. I'd much rather sell somebody something they want rather than something I have to convince them they want.
Mm-hmm.
We got some new people in the chat. We got Whiskey and Chef.
Hey yo,
what is up?
Yeah, cool.
Do y'all want to go ahead and go over these orders that Gene got?
Let's do it.
Well, let's play. Yeah, you got to stop doing whatever you're doing now. You're supposed to have it ready. What are you doing?
I had it ready.
You are talking.
Come on, Gene. We're not paying you nothing to just sit there, okay?
Okay, you're paying me nothing to do nothing, right?
Exactly.
Drew took a pay cut so you'd be able to do this.
You know how much money I lost on it? No. It was nothing, by the way, but you know.
Yeah,
don't close that one.
One of the things that Victor was telling me was Victor was trying to explain to a guy that was at Brick Fair about, like, the guy was just rattling off like 100 ideas, and he was like, "Can I say something to you?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "Do you realize you've already cost me like 400 hours of labor if I do all of these?"
Is this just one order, or was there multiple of this one?
Someone's
oh my gosh. I honestly don't know. Tori uploaded a bunch of pictures this week.
Each picture is one order.
She said each picture is one order, but I know there's one order that's 3 pictures. And Tori said I did that one, so it's my fault.
Failure.
So this one, I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yeah.
There's basic stuff, but there's some technique over here. But a lot of the same colors. Oh yeah, there's a pneumatic hose in this one.
You know, it almost kind of reminds me, just because of the color scheme and some of the pieces, of like the Harry Potter express train or something like
Yeah.
that. Like if he was parting out something, because it doesn't look like it would be something to do with like a fire truck per se. I mean, it
Well, I don't
could.
know though. That hose is a.
Oh wow, that hose is bigger than I thought it was. I
Yeah,
only
that's
saw the
a-
top part of it. I didn't even see it wrap all the way around. It could be. Yeah, could be.
I'll say fire
Yeah,
truck.
and that's the pneumatic hose, so it's flexible. Obviously,
Yeah.
who knows?
Well, it is now. I don't know if it was to begin with.
So here's a weird mix: City and Star Wars.
Wait, is that a firefighter to the left?
I was gonna say, is that a firefighter?
Yes, it is.
Is that the same order?
No.
No, separate order.
Oh,
Conspiracy.
yeah. Maybe it's
There's a
collaborative.
rat. There's a rat.
There's a rat in the house on this one.
Yeah. This is very unique.
Yeah, it's just weird. This is.
I still think
weird
it's funny.
color.
As long as we've been doing this, none of these orders look like anything I would ever order.
Yeah.
There's a
There's
big
not enough
support.
pieces.
I'm like, if it's not $55 or $75, I don't know what it is.
That used my limit's like 125 an order now.
Dang.
All right, I believe this is. Did you do this one or not?
That is definitely parted out for sure. You got the
No,
stud
I think
shooters.
Yeah, but the two
Three
wheels.
shooters.
Yeah, I don't know what those wheels are about.
You know what that is?
Fine.
Well, I know what that is. That's the old
Are they?
castle stuff with the orcs.
Yeah.
Is that a custom AT-AT?
Oh.
Scroll up. Because that dark bluish gray wheel's the back, the like butt of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But the panels in at the top left.
Up here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You almost kind of wonder if it's
I don't know what's over here.
what's the one from like episode 8 or 9? Those
The
ones.
AT-MT?
Yeah, because I just see the dark brown. I mean the dark
Tan.
bluish gray. No, the dark bluish gray. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times.
I don't know about that.
Here's two
Not a lot.
windscreens, two
lot of-
propellers,
Definitely a boat.
steering wheels. Oh yeah, a pair of boats. I bet you.
Yeah.
2 steering wheels, 2 windscreens, 2 propellers. Somebody's building 2 red and white boats. I'm betting.
Coast Guard.
There you go.
There you go, Coast Guard.
Wow. Filler brick.
So Drew, look at the colors: bright light orange, tan, white, bright pink, orange.
That almost looks like one of my Minecraft orders.
I was gonna say that's
like
filler. That's
filler
filler
brick.
That's inside of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought somebody's doing a Minecraft thing.
No, they're doing the Charmander build.
Oh, you know what? They might be.
But
Those
I
are
don't
all
think.
those are mostly 2x4s, right?
Yeah.
2x2s, 2x3s, 2x4s.
I bet they're building Bricker build.
Those are all 2x4s.
Charmander.
I wonder.
I bet that's what that is.
I don't know. Just
There
the
you
color
go,
scheme
the
matches
first
it very
consensus
much.
of the night.
The white for the eyes.
Dude,
the
this
pink
picture
and
almost
red.
looks like it is in black and white. That's kind of funny. Whoa.
Pretty much is.
Yeah, right.
One blue piece, two red, one dark blue.
At the insides of an X-wing.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, there's your nacelles for the engines.
Oh, they have that like new droid head piece that they use for and that
What's in the top left? I mean, the top
Yeah.
right.
Printed.
Just break.
So just a couple of 1x4s and a grill brick.
Oh, it's what I'm looking at. Whatever's underneath it.
yeah, the little yeah,
I was like, what is that?
couple of dish pieces and the droid head kind
Globes.
of thingies.
I'm gonna guess an X-wing.
Yeah, that's not a bad guess.
It's not a bad guess. I mean, there's a lot of Technic with it. Technic bricks.
What do you think it is,
1x2
Dan?
lift arms, 1x9 lift arms.
UCS X-wing sounds about right. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause
But
all
did
of
it?
those-
But did it have tubes though? The hose tubes. If you go up to the second one on the top left, that one it
No, those
has.
are axles. Oh,
Yeah,
They
the
have
flexible
hoses.
axle right there.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't-
I've never owned one. If I have, I sold it.
I don't have it.
Didn't even open it.
All right, starting in this bottom corner.
Is this a different order?
I was gonna say, I swear,
Yeah.
all these orders look like they could be together.
Yeah. Is
Oh,
everybody
a
building
lot
the
of them could.
Is this some
do you
classic
think? There's a
space
bunch of
kind of build? That's how old.
25 axles.
Yeah.
Or Technic.
16 long, 2x6.
Gearbox right there.
There's like some old Technic in it, and it almost looks like the classic space pieces for some of them. Trying to think.
And those are the chrome.
There's some chrome hilts,
Ow.
some tails, some controls.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. Some big plates.
Yeah.
Wow. Now this is
All
starting
right.
to look like Rich's order.
Yeah, I was saying,
This is
I don't remember placing
this
that
is
order.
one of our viewers here.
Oh, this is Nate Brix. Or yeah,
Yeah,
right?
okay, that has to be Nate's.
He's
That
he's
is
already
Nate
finished his,
Builds.
yeah, let's see here.
That is Nate Builds.
I can tell you exactly what he's building.
Don't cheat. It's got to.
Indeed.
It's got to be Star Wars.
It
So
is
to
Star
tell you
Wars.
how big the order is, you see this one here. There's 3 different trays of stuff stacked.
Wow.
And I thought it was interesting. You got some of the new the satin trans black.
Yeah, those are unique.
They haven't
Does that
been out
have the
long.
sparkles in them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to
Trans
feel
black
about
with kind of a bluish sparkle.
that. Yeah, interesting.
Cool.
Oh, he's got a medical droid too.
Yeah, it's the only droid he bought.
I was gonna say, I feel like those are some pretty underrated Star Wars figures for some reason.
Yep.
I always feel like they're more expensive than they are, but they're not. Wow. Okay. Is this Nate still?
Yeah.
Oh, is this one you did?
This may be Nate again. I may have unstacked them so you can see everything.
I was about to say because that the middle
I did.
right box is the same as it was on the top.
Yeah,
left.
Yeah.
I decided that stacking them didn't really show you everything.
Mm. Oh
All right,
wow.
This is a different order. Motor,
Yeah.
handles,
That's David's
Yeah, it has to be.
Yep.
motors
Yep.
and Technics. That's got to be David's.
I'm pretty sure that is.
Huh.
Wheels.
Look at the wheels and
Building a
Speed
race
champions.
race car. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be the small wheels.
Here's where I could label
Yeah.
those for you.
The question is, are they building an 8 body or a 6 body though?
You know what that might be?
what?
That Porsche race car, not the 911, but the like 994 or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's
He's
the
got-
same wheels, tires, and color scheme.
Yeah.
That's the same wheel covers on it too, right there.
Well,
Yeah.
there's 3
Yeah.
wheel covers in white and 1 in black.
Special wheels too.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Huh.
It's gonna be lopsided.
Maybe you didn't have enough.
Sorry.
Oh,
David said that
said-
was not his order.
Really?
I didn't think it
Oh, I
was.
thought it was. Oh no. His is bigger than that.
Full of it.
Oh wow.
Wow. I don't know.
Those look like some extra long hot dogs there.
Yeah.
Oh no, those are just the horn things.
Those are the footlongs.
Is that David?
It's obviously something that has teeth.
And a tongue.
And a
Yeah.
lot of brackets. Look at all the brackets.
What
Curved
is the
slopes out the wazoo.
Looks like
The
they're building
orange-
a dragon or something.
Yeah.
That's the monster from Trimmers.
Good colors.
Colorful one.
Yeah, it's a good color scheme.
Remind me of the Wienermobile.
Tori said it reminds her of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Only if we could get one.
Supposedly you can drive that for Oscar Mayer for $35,000 a year or something like that to like drive it across country.
They have a whole bunch of them. They have a whole
Yeah.
fleet.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, I kind of want that gig.
I see them in the side of the road in the ditch. So I don't know if you really want that.
As long as I get my 35, we're good.
All right. 'Cause I've seen a lot of them.
That's hilarious.
What is the frame on
Looks
that
like
car?
mine. It starts
Okay.
dragon build.
So David said that looks like his order. It's the start of a dragon build.
Hey, Dan called it.
Yeah, you called it.
You
I
now
have a
owe
red and
Dan
yellow one.
$3,500. Okay,
Yeah.
David.
No.
My rate is 36, but you owe.
Dan said he'll give you a discount tonight, $34.50.
Small order. It was
Yeah.
weird. Dark green, dark purple, and then a bunch
He's got
of
some what's that? Needles shot stuff.
Syringes.
Yeah, syringes. There we go.
Yeah, right there. I didn't see those.
And the cherry.
And the cherries.
A tile with cherries on it.
Interesting.
It looks like more than one mock.
Right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Could be.
The right hand side doesn't seem to fit the other two.
No. Oh wow.
Someone's.
I think someone just cleared your stock there, Gene, just for these pieces.
Now that looks like my order.
Yeah.
So we had 2 different orders in the past 3 days that when they hit an item, they cleared it out. And I mean,
Wow.
we're talking 200 lots in an order and cleared it all out.
That's
Dan,
crazy.
did you happen to order tank tread?
It wasn't me.
Was it tank tread?
And if you need the big tank treads or the big technic treads, let me know.
I have some because I was going to build a 1/16 scale Sherman and never
Mm.
I started it, never finished it. So someday I'll have to make a whole bunch of them.
We have a few too. I think somewhere in the 4,000 to 5,000 of them. Right?
Oh wow!
Phew, jeez.
So when we were making trains, it was right the last couple of trains that we did. The power functions got phased out, so I panic bought a million motors. So I have all these motors, all these controllers, UV, the towers, and I decided trains are not for me. They're too complicated, too expensive, too problematic. So eventually, I will turn all those into RC tanks, and I will need treads for all of them. They'll be big ones, like big tanks.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
David said that's too many gears.
Dan cleared them out of tires.
Renee said that David cleared her out of tires. He bought like 196 of them.
Nice.
Never have too many tires. If you you can always build the Springfield tire fire in your mock if you over purchased.
Right?
So, true fact, the largest tire producer in the world is Lego.
Yep.
I always thought that was cool.
I
And
bet
I
you
think
I'm the biggest buyer.
I think half of their stock's in our basement.
It's really weird that all of the orders, like every week, we get a red and blue order.
Yeah.
Well, that's 2 this week.
I think it's more than 2. There's
Classic
I
Lego.
like that one.
What do you
Oh,
think
yeah.
he's building?
Hopefully not a castle. It's a bad idea. It's a horrible investment.
It's a dragon.
Gray Castle.
right.
There's a Minecraft. That right there is Drew's Minecraft order.
Although there's a
Either
slope.
that or it's one of Richard's village buildings.
There you go.
That green is unusable. It's not a usable. It's not an earthly green.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like that
interesting.
That's some money right there.
Old school.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
especially those connectors.
Yeah.
On them. Those are. I mean, that's history. That's ancient history.
Right.
Oh yeah, those
I
are
almost
the
kind of
tooth
wonder if they're building like a Baja, because if you go back up to the right, up to the top right, the seat, even oh well, that's a wheelchair. Never mind. But the seat kind of looks like a racing seat.
It's Professor
Yeah.
Xavier's Baja truck.
Right. That was a pickup of
one.
opportunity.
No.
Yeah,
I think the tires and the wheels were and the pneumatic pump were the well,
Yeah.
also those old Technic pieces, old connectors with the teeth.
they even bought the bushings that are toothed.
24.
I have
Yeah.
a
Wow.
ton of
Well, you
those.
need them because then they click together and you can put a half pin through it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a ton of those things.
Well, maybe the person who sees that order may get in touch with you.
Hey, I'll sell them because I'm not doing nothing with them.
Right?
That's all that order was.
Some sand green.
Parts for the Statue of Liberty.
Right? Never can go
Or
wrong with
Harry
some good
Potter.
sand green.
That could be Harry Potter.
Here's somebody that jumped on the light blue gray, dark blue gray bandwagon.
Yeah.
It's a
Another
black.
black and white photo.
Building a ship.
It's old.
Look at
Star
that.
Wars.
It's brown.
Oh yeah, that's
And it's
100% Star Wars.
Yeah, they have a lightsaber hilt and a suitcase. That's Star Wars.
I love that there's a suitcase in this order.
And a camera.
Three things
gotta
that are
be.
brown in this order is a suitcase.
They couldn't afford the black one.
Right?
And more of that pneumatic
pumps.
Yep.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I don't know why, but that color scheme that they have, even though it's Technic, it just reminds me of like Rock Raiders. I miss
It
that.
does.
There.
That lime right there does it.
Yeah.
How do y'all have any techniques left?
You still got more.
I know, right?
Will said there's nothing wrong with great orders.
No, I agree.
No, right?
You ought to see the
I build in gray. That's all I got.
you ought to see the order I have for Renee that's in a cart. It's like, if I'm not mistaken, it's like maybe 210 or 230 lots of nothing but tan.
Nice.
Broke my chair.
12-tooth gears, axles.
Hoses.
Those hoses.
Yeah,
are
this
pretty
is
neat.
this is a unique one. I like it.
He got hit with that 50 count.
No,
Oh,
those aren't in bulk.
No, I'm
She
talking
had
about
to
above
count
it.
those.
No, those are both. That's 500.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 500 pack.
Uh-huh.
Never mind. She corrected me. That's one of the 500
Got hit
packs.
with that bulk.
Richard, how many 500 packs of black pins have you bought?
Enough to know that I don't need to buy anymore.
nice. Nice.
So that's it, guys.
Heck yeah.
I
That
like
was
the,
some pretty-
flexible hoses in that one.
Right?
That's some pretty unusual orders. We always get weird. Like, you always get some strange, like, some of it makes sense. Some of it, I'm like, I don't know. That one's a fire truck. I'm calling it a fire truck.
First one.
Yeah, I can go with you on that. I go
Dan,
have
you
these-
commented about those hoses.
Yeah.
We bought out the local school system's old robotic stuff.
Right.
And every set that they had about 20 of those hoses in it.
Yeah, a bunch of
Wow.
Tori's got like 3 or 4 gallon-sized bags full.
them. No,
Dude,
got 2 down. I'm down to
she's down to 2 gallon-sized bags of those.
of the 9s.
When I started building all those, like, all the Brickmania kits, all the rigid hose that you use,
Oh,
I went
wow.
on, like, I have a tote down here. Like, I just have rolls of it.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Just rolls and pieces.
Yeah.
Nice.
We tried to make our own, and we tried to find an extruder that could make quality that was comparable to Lego. We couldn't, so we buy our hoses off Bricklink.
I do not.
I don't blame you, but we're it's different when people have a certain purist expectation of what's going to come inside their box. But
True that.
I've been known to put non-Lego things in kits too. So
What?
Dang, so
What was that somebody said earlier? It was, I don't know if you're the one that replied to it, but somebody commented on the post I made about the SZ.
oh, the stickers, yeah.
Yeah, they were like, that's a lot of stickers. I'm like, but you don't have to put them on.
No, you don't.
I actually like the stickers though. I'm one of the few people that I did something really weird that was an impulse buy. I don't know why, but like a year and it was probably last year. It wasn't that long ago. Y'all had y'all sale going on where it was like buy one get one on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and I bought like at least one of just about everything y'all had, and like I went crazy with some of the stuff. Like I got 2 sets to build, technically
Yeah.
3 or 4 of these if I want.
Right.
I have I think I bought enough to build I've got 3 zeros, 2 Messerschmitts.
Well,
I've
some
got-
of those sticker packs are like multi-packs too. Like
Yeah.
we have this whole sheet to fill up, so we're going to make you enough. We'll put enough stickers on there, make 3 different vehicles.
Heck
Well,
yeah.
I was looking through my stuff because I've been preparing, or not been preparing, but I've been wanting to do a World War II mock for a while. And y'all's sticker sheet that just has like the stickers for like ammo crates and stuff on there.
Yeah.
I have like 15 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm glad I bought them now, but at the time I was like, what in the world was I thinking?
Well, maybe you thought you're gonna have a lot of cargo and put on your tanks. So that's,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't ever have too many.
No. And if I didn't buy them, they would be gone now, and I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Is the way I look at it.
Stickers we try to keep in stock. We can't obviously all keep everything in stock all the time.
Yeah.
It's, we're a small operation. Somebody's going to come along and buy 15 of everything, and there you go, we're out.
Drew, do you want to do your mocks first this week?
Sure. Let's do it.
You ready for this, Dan?
Sure.
Dan's gonna know every single one of these, by the way.
Probably not. I don't get enough as much time to look on the internet.
Well, wait, you didn't. Oh, did you play the intro to this segment?
No, I was doing that.
Can we explain the rules to Dan about this?
All right, I'm here. I'm just fixing my chair.
You said, did we explain the rules?
Did we explain the rules to how we do this with Dan?
No, we didn't.
Well, I was going to, and he said that he watched the stream, so I just like.
I did. I did
Oh.
watch the stream, so yeah.
Okay,
So
so yeah, basically, we're just gonna rate these. I mean, nothing has ever. We don't ever plan to think that anything would get less than a 6. So I don't even think we have. Do we have a 6 segment?
Yeah, we
Or-
have a 6, but we did get one. I brought a mock to the channel that I thought was really neat, and we were trying to figure out a way like how it was designed because there was a bunch of stuff we didn't understand. Like there was pieces almost defying gravity, and we found out that it was not only a fake mock, but it was also like a digitally fake mock. So we have a 0 dogs out there waiting.
Yeah.
We do.
Yes, we do.
No
But,
fake. All right, good.
But yeah, we try to save 10 for really special ones. But if you feel like a 10, obviously say a 10. But yeah, it's kind of fun. This one,
Drew's yet to hit a 10.
I know it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. This is from a Brick Interest. He called this build the ramen.com because the shop below is called the ramen.com.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've always liked modern city builds, and I don't know if it's because I'm doing this very small build, like on a city wharf kind of thing. But I just enjoy this style of mocks and military and modern military a lot.
Wait, I didn't see the military guys in there before.
Oh, right.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, this picture is a little dark, but they're definitely doing a little siege against those
Oh
guys.
wow, look at that. There's a whole drama going on.
Right.
I like the vines going up the wall.
Yeah.
I know, right? Well, and I like the subtle detail of lights and like everything especially in that shop there.
That guy behind the first guy with like the M16, he looks
Yeah.
terrified for his life.
Well, yeah, because his buddy just died to the bottom right of it.
Oh,
I'm laying on the ground. Oh jeez.
Right. But I don't know. I just like the tension and like the sticker use that he used in all the different spots. Like if you look at the top left, where it's like broken down, he has like like the little gradients that they'd have for drainage from what's that called? From like the porch or whatever. Yeah. So I like that he used that as a sticker. Obviously, I like the ramen sticker. It's kind of funny.
Is that a sticker? It must be, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, it's
no, that's not a sticker. That's the I don't know about
right,
the
yeah,
but that's letters out of the
those are the 1x1 tiles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they're silver letters, but the I've never seen a .com one before. I wonder if that's
Yeah. I also like that on the far left underneath the pink banner or shield cover thing. I always forget what it's called, but
awning.
Like the sign is like lit up too.
The awning.
Yeah, the awning. There we go.
Yeah, well, the store, I mean, the whole cafeteria, the cafe is lit up from the inside. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's the Central Perk.
Yeah, Central Park.
That's kind of funny.
Phoebe's in there holding it down with an AK.
Right? That would make That is
The
actually
dot,
lore to friends.
the .com is actually a 1x2 tile that came in a desk.
Really?
It came in a desk business card holder set.
I get it. I get it.
That's pretty cool.
So you can put your email address on there or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Gene. Why don't you start us off? What do you rate this mock?
Pieces of it are really good, but pieces of it are just kind of missing.
Hmm.
I mean, if you zoom out, there's like lots of wall space that could be. See all those different levels of balconies.
Yeah.
I really
It's
like
like-
the balcony design though.
Yeah.
I like the balcony design, but it's like begging to have more detail or another scene or some kind of action going on.
Or like
I'm
even
thinking
some
7.
like vines or something.
Yeah. That front piece is really detailed, and you get around to the side, and it's like blah.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I'm going 7.
How about you, Rich?
I was thinking 7 or 8.
Okay. How about you, Dan?
I agree with Gene. I think there's the certain parts in there are 10. You know, the cafe, the drama on the first floor, but everything else doesn't look finished. You got the closed shutters.
Yeah.
They're all the same. It's like, well, I didn't put anything in these rooms. We'll just close it off. And then the balconies have no, you know, when you look at an apartment building, you see all the people leave their junk out there. It's like that's like the
Right
for the public.
They
So
need
they
to
got
have like a,
I like that. The closet for the public. I love that.
They need to have an old woman out there smoking a Marlboro. That would got to
right. Gotta be smoking. There's gonna be like a bicycle out there. You know, somebody's laundry, whatever's out there. But that's, you know, usually it's where you put the crap that you like. I don't want this in my apartment. You stick it out on the porch.
Oh, I feel you. A bicycle would have added something to that there.
Right. Yeah. Or just like even change the doors so they weren't all the same.
Yeah.
A piece of clothing thrown over the edge of the balcony to dry.
Yeah.
Like even a cat on the railing or something.
Yeah, true. So, all
I
right, let's
really,
7.
I really the detail, the street, done well, but it just it doesn't seem finished.
Yeah. No, I feel it's I like that picture of someone who starts drawing a horse and it's all super detailed and then it turns into a stick figure one.
I don't know if it's that bad.
Great.
Yeah, no, right. No, totally. I agree. It ain't that bad, but
I'd say it's in that 7 range.
Dude, with us talking about this and me and you trying to find some really good things to like put into videos to show, we need to get, after you said that, the God, I have to find it, but I pick on my wife all the time. I send it to her. It's like an episode of Hell's Kitchen where Gordon Ramsay tastes something and he spits it out. And he's like, the presentation is there, but the flavor sucks. And he just like,
whoever made it was hoping he wouldn't actually taste it.
Right.
We're hitting it with that 7.
Hit it with that 7.
Nice. So is that Mary's truck?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I totally forgot until you said that to put those together. That's your girl. That's your ex-employee.
Yeah. She went off to brighter pastures, but greener pastures. We knew that was coming because she had told us when she started that her lifelong dream was to work at Lego. So it was just a matter of time. But congratulations to Mary because she worked hard to get there.
So, and then this next one is by Ballistic Bricks. It is a custom Lego French occupation. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, look at the trees.
Right? Trees look nice.
I like that bridge.
Yeah, wait till I get to the close-up of the bridge and see his greebling, what piece he used for the greebling, which I really liked.
What kind of hold on.
Binoculars.
Yeah. What were you looking at, Rich?
I was just trying to find out. That's not a what kind of tank is that? That's not a Sherman.
No, those are all German.
Mm-hmm.
So Panzers of some sort. Like
the mufflers in the back are throwing me off.
Looks like a Panzer, counting the wheels. That's a Panzer III going up the ramp. half track on the bridge. Looks like
Mhm.
I can't tell if it's out of focus. It looks like a tiger behind it. So that's half track.
I really like that bridge though. A lot of people don't utilize that fact that you can put anything that is studded on the bottom of an arch.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good tip.
I hate that. I will say that like it has one of my pet peeves in it though. I hate when people pour out studs for water.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, this is also a freeform mock, so but
Yeah, it's
I
you got to fill the space on the table.
exactly. I like the what's that called? The 1x1 stud that's modified with a bar. That's what he used for the top part across. I like that piece being
Well,
used.
they make a piece now that I just ordered. Like, I think I ordered like 300 of them. But the 1x1 bar you're talking about, they just came out with that candle piece in light bluish gray.
Oh, really?
And reddish brown. Yeah, I bought a bunch of them.
Oh, that's cool.
We just use them in a set.
Nice.
They're in the French 75 we just put out as the candle light gray.
There's another side of the back.
Lego only knew.
Oh,
Hey.
How do we know this is France? I haven't seen anything in France yet.
Right?
So,
And then
That's
this is just
really cool.
pictures of his just terrain that he's built.
I like the fact that he split it up and done where you can actually see the tracks from the cars coming through.
Right?
And the tracks are recessed, like the weight of the tank pushed it into the dirt.
Yeah. It looks
It
nice.
took a lot of notes out of my playbook. I'm proud of them.
Your playbook. But I like, what's kind of funny? I just realized some of the trees that he removed, he kind of played a little joke that he chopped them off. You see that?
Oh yeah, I see that. They all
I kind of like that's kind of clever.
Those mushroom pieces that he has on there need to be revamped if he still has this, and put those new mushroom helmets or the hats. Or
right?
whatever. I love those things.
Definitely. All right, Dan, you want to start this one off?
Well, it doesn't match the title.
Yeah.
The technique's there.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things that would to me would be like I wouldn't like to do that. There's some things in there. I don't think. I guess matter of personal taste, but definitely like there's not an empty space on the mock. There's no like area that's like, okay, this doesn't look finished. Everything looks finished. The tanks are and the vehicles are custom. I mean, they don't look like they were like a third party that were modified. They look like unique to this builder.
Yeah.
I really like that. So I'm going to give this a 9. And the only reason I won't give it a 10 is because, you got to be super special to get a 10. So I think it rates a 9.
Heck yeah.
Which is about as good as I would expect to see as a top shelf mock anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the things that I'll concur with, but also change a little bit of the way Dan worded it is, I think this mock stands if it didn't have the vehicles on it.
Right.
Yeah.
The terrain is cool.
Like just the terrain.
You put a castle card on there.
Yeah, put the trees back there and just like put the castle cart that was, because there was one that was broke down in one of the first picture.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to just put it back to where it was that and just call it a day, like I still believe that would even be a really cool mock.
Yeah. Well, it's almost kind of like his terrain work is pretty good that like the tanks are almost like putting in a tree. That like not to that level per se, but like the tanks aren't almost the focus of the mock. It's the detail of what he put into it.
Well, it's really weird. Like, it's weird that he named this. I know that Dan's probably going to correct me on this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. If this were to be World War II, there's no way that they're going to have the tanks behind a half track, because that tank, the tanks are what you want in the front to take the blunt force. Mm-hmm. Like that half track can get blown to smithereens the minute it's seen.
Well, the irony of it is that they actually stuck the half tracks in the front, and the reason why is the tanks figured the infantry was expendable. So you roll your half track over the mine, spare the tank.
Yeah,
they actually did that. The Germans, it was documented, especially in the Battle of the Bulge. I don't know about the early part of the war, but definitely during the Battle of the Bulge, they made the half tracks go first because they needed those tanks to survive. And they wanted to get all the way to wherever they were going in Belgium. They wanted the tanks to get there. guys in half tracks, you know, you go first.
Here you go.
They took it all.
Well, the more you know.
Yeah. So,
The more you know.
but you're right. You know, if it was somewhere else, if it was Americans, it'd probably be the tank in front.
Yeah. How about you, Rich? What do you rate it?
I'll say a 9. Like I said, I think the terrain stands on its own. Like, I mean, that bridge looks amazing.
Yeah. How about you, Gene?
So I'm the odd man out. I'm giving him a 10. The reason I'm doing a 10 is because it is multiple mocks in one.
Mm.
I mean, the terrain stands on its own. You throw the tanks and the half track in there, it's still a good mock. Trees in, it's a good mock. Trees out, it's a good mock. I mean, it's kind of a convertible.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Let's hit it with that 9. Heck yeah.
Right. Congrats.
Big Nate Bricks, what is going on?
Let me see here.
Got some
The
new
next
people in the
one
house.
is, sorry that I'm going to my phone to pull up these notes.
Oh, you're fine.
Is from Pelego Bricks. It's called the Mediterranean Harbor 2.0. And so I personally like, and especially since you pointed out last time, Dan, about the balcony, this balcony actually has detail, which I didn't notice before. And it actually, like, you know, there's actual leaves and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, we'll get some closer. I like that all of his animals are brick built too.
Yeah, the swans are beautiful.
Right?
I don't like brick built animals though. I'm not taking anything away from him. This mock does look really good. I don't like brick built animals.
The modeled white in the building looks really appropriate.
Right? I like that he like mixed in tan with dark tan at the bottom and then added in faded white, which is pretty cool. I thought that was a nice touch to it and very
Gotta show that dirtiness.
Well, and just look at the road detail and then the sidewalk detail. And if you look up back the stairs, all the cobble work, it looks pretty nice.
Look at the lamppost. Look at the actual construction of the lights.
Yeah,
tiles shoved in the bottom of that 2x2 plate.
He doesn't have anything on here that's like a single piece. Like Lego has lampposts, but he built his own.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's very beautiful.
I like that there's an actual candle inside too, which is cool.
And the little French car.
Right.
A Kubo wagon, and the other one's a Citroen, German, French car, German car.
Yeah.
We got a Volkswagen and the Citroen. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I like it on the white building, his roof technique. I really like that like clay brick style. Shingle style. I like that there's not very many gaps in his rock work, and if there is, he stuck a little plant in there. But I like that they have like a little garden up top too, which is cool. And I really enjoyed that he used the tubes because like over time, like especially being in construction, I see crooked lumber all the time. But seeing that there, it would be warped like that for sure.
So what's holding it up there? Is it are those tubes tied in on the end, or are they just laying there?
They're just resting there, the two on top.
Yeah, it's there for the picture. Just don't breathe on it.
Right? I like that there's a monkey in this tree.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out what he's using that paint roller and like seeing glass or wrench piece for right in front of the minifigure.
It's a pump.
Like a
water pump.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a little well kind of a thing.
Yeah. Is he using wands or joystick pieces as like the...
Those are joystick pieces.
Yeah, that's... in the modified 1x2 tile grill piece. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. The chickens.
Those aren't brick built.
I know there's some non-brick built animals in this. There you go, Rich. This will make it a 10 for you, Rich.
There's like so many pieces in this.
I know, dude. I think this he's like saluting the
Harry
swans.
Potter's on
Yeah, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's in the Kriegsmarine.
Did J.K. Rowling approve this?
I have like several Harry Potters on one of my ships. So
Oh yeah.
There's a running theme that I've been doing when I had the city built. Ron, Harry, and Hermione were all like in their robes. In the castle, they're all knights. I'm going to transform over to when I do the Star Wars mock. They're all going to be clones. They'll go into the World War II mock. Like,
Heck yeah.
yeah. Well, back in the old day, the only fleshies you could get were the few, I guess, licenses that they had at the time. So we had a few Harry Potters and a few Star Wars figures, and how many times can you put Indiana Jones in your mock?
Yeah, right.
It's Indiana.
How many scruffy beards can you put in there?
Every American,
right? All right, Gene, you want to start this one off?
I really like this one.
Yeah.
I'm at a 9. If he'd done a little more variation in the windows, he's got some where the shutters are open, some they're closed. The balcony's cool, but the fact that the pieces are just laying up there kind of bothers me. You can't really transport it to a show.
Well, you just have
unless you do like Richard and rebuild it when you get there.
Duh.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not a fan of the brick built boat.
What?
I'll give this one a 9.
A 9? How about you, Rich?
I was gonna say a 10.
10. Yeah. How about you,
I
Dan?
really like it.
I really like this. I don't think it's as good as the last one, but it's definitely really well thought out.
Yeah.
There's probably some techniques that could, some edges that could use a little bit of smoothing over,
Definitely.
I mean, not necessarily that it needs to look more professional, but I think that not everything is on the same level here. So I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5. All right, so we have 2 9s and an 8.5. What is that? A 9 or an 8, Rich?
Well, we got a 10 too, so I think we're averaging.
Oh, yeah, we're averaging a 9. Duh. There we go. Let's hit it with that.
Hit it with that 9.
We go on to the next build. I have noticed something.
What's that?
I have noticed something. There are 16 people and 14 people liked it. Come on, people. What are we doing out here? What are we doing out here? I know right before I said that it was at 20. We dropped 4. I'm sorry for my bad mocks. I'm just playing. The next one. These are the 2 honorable mentions that I came across while searching. This is actually another one from Pell Lego Bricks. He did the Temple Bridge, a summer joust between samurais, and which looks like, yeah, there we go. So this one only has 3 quick pictures, but he really enjoys his rock work for sure.
And the swans.
Yeah.
This is the same guy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So one of the things I can tell about the way he builds is instead of using bricks, he uses a lot of different plate variations to build things to make it look more detailed.
Yeah, well, you can get smaller sections. Look at the way that the vertical up and down brown plates are on that.
Yeah.
Just to, because you can't do that with a full size brick. You can get the same effect.
No,
it's very nice. So if you're like, we want like a bar sort of effect, that's the way to do it. Looks really good. And look at that railing. It's the zip line.
Yeah.
So you get
one thing I will say though, I don't know if it's just like the picture or the computer, is it definitely looks like it's Boeing.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's probably because I stretched it out on accident. That's probably my bad on that one. But it does look. I think also the house is at an angle, so it looks more stretched out too.
Well, the railing gives you that illusion, but I also think that there's not a whole lot of structural integrity.
No, probably not.
Because of so much snot work, isn't it?
Yeah, right. And I feel like this only goes around like 4 bricks, but his water detail looks extremely natural to me
Yeah.
for brick
I
build.
love where it's going over the rocks and you see the
Yeah.
ripples.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very
That's really cool.
And I doubt there's any nets in that thing. If I had to guess, if I was
Nah.
putting money on
It's
it.
laid too flat to be a net.
But I know I can't zoom in. But if you take a look around at the grass, especially in the bottom right, some of the grass pieces are scuba fins,
nice.
which I just noticed that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Here's an up close picture. You can see like underneath that
Yeah,
nice
it
little
looks like it's
support.
about to collapse.
You're right.
Like, look at the roof and just how it like.
It just totally flows up and down.
Right.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, Pete wouldn't like this. Pete wouldn't like the condition of this bridge. It'd be torn down and
Right.
rebuilt.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's scuba fins.
Yeah, there's some scuba fins.
Yeah, it looks great. It's really good in parts usage. I think it's
Definitely.
great.
Definitely. I for me personally, I wish I could give all my mocks a 10 for that I bring, but I would feel like for structurability, I'd have to give it an 8.5 to 9, probably closer to an 8 though. But you want to start us off this time, Rich?
I'm gonna give it an 8. I agree with you. I feel like if he were to set that thing down too hard,
Yeah,
caving.
gone. The water would stay good, but
Yeah. but it would have a house in it now.
yeah, exactly. How about you, Dan?
Well, if you overlook the obvious like structural iffiness of it, I really like this one. In fact, I like it better than the last one. There's a lot of maybe the framing is good. That the trees in the background look like they were just thrown in, but they're thrown in to frame the picture.
Right.
So I'll forgive the fact that they're just like all snapped together.
Yeah.
It has a lot of drama in it. There's obvious drama in it. The last one didn't really know what was going on. I think there's a story in this one, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this one a 9. I think this is better than the last one.
Sweet.
Just don't shake it.
Yeah.
Right. Don't display it anywhere besides your work table.
It's good for pictures, and the pictures look great.
Right. How about you, Gene?
So Drew, this is the first 10 I've ever given you. The
Really?
thing I like is, the thing I like, let's ignore the structure. I mean, not everybody's an architect or a builder.
Yeah.
You and I look at it different from a lot of people.
Right.
But look at the trees. He's mixed bright light yellow, bright light orange, dark orange all together to give it that tonal shift.
Yeah.
And it's really cool how it's not a uniform color. It's got that variation in it that makes it look real.
Yeah.
I like how he went in and rather than having blank walls at the top, he put the whips up there for some decoration.
Yeah. Definitely.
And the water just kills me. I mean, it's
like
got the ripples. It's got the ripples, but it's laid flat. It's not a net.
Yeah. No.
That is just killer.
Definitely.
So this is my first 10 for you, Drew.
Heck yeah. I like that.
One thing to notice, the added touch of realism that the stone on the banks of the creek here, where it's by the water, it's a different color than where it's dry.
It's dark like it's wet.
Yep. So there's some real attention to detail going on here.
Yeah. I really like this guy's realism.
Yeah.
Well,
good work.
Let's hit that with that 9. Excellent. Well, this last one, honorable mention, is by Brix. It's called Rock Climbing. I am a huge fan of rock climbing. I used to rock climb all the time for like a couple of years straight, and it was some of the best fun I've had, and I plan to get back into it again. But this one, everything is brick built, which I just love a lot. And I don't know if anyone else has rock climbed at all here, but I love, because I got into lead climbing before I kind of stopped, and having the quick draws set up where he's already clipped and he's about to clip, and he's using the Lord of the Rings rings as carabiners, and the little green sand green like droid or skeletal arms. I love that. I love all the cracks and crevices, and I just see like all the toe holds and all the crimp holds in rock climbing that I would need to use to climb whatever he's climbing there in that overhang and get through the crux. But I love that it's very simple with the clouds and the sky and stuff. But I like and I can appreciate that he went the extra distance to make everything Lego behind him, you know? And a lot of creators don't seem to do that very much. And that I also like this because it feels like he's taking a picture like in for what's that called? Like North Face, where the perspective is like you can see the other valley below with all the mini trees and the clouds up high besides the horizon that's down in the city. And so maybe I'm painting this picture different than what he is, but that's what I see.
So Drew, I see two things. Number one, the absolute huge scale of this. Those are huge wedge slopes that he's got back to back paired.
He's got barrels as the biceps.
Yep.
Yeah, that is huge.
Right.
And the other thing I see, since you were a rock climber, did you notice he's actually got a true figure 8 tied at his waist?
Yep. True figure 88 with the rock climbing shoes, which look exactly like mine. That's why I love this one. And I love that he's wearing a harness too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a 10 for me. I know I'm coming up early on my score, but
the thing that
like old school 10-9s, don't they?
Yeah,
the thing that I don't like about this is it feels like it was built for this picture.
Oh, totally. It's
Absolutely.
from an inspiration of another photo.
Yeah. I mean, it's the rock work's really cool. It's really hard to get all those pieces to sit like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the gears and like the what are they called? The wheels in his knee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it would actually rotate like that. Mm-hmm. That's really neat.
Technic wedge belt pulley. That's what that one is.
Right?
Yeah, that thing.
So the cool thing is he's actually got a bionicle mask for a face.
Yeah.
That's not a cool thing. That's actually a downgrade.
Dang.
No.
Dang.
That's why people are logging off.
Right? And we
fans,
just lost
just
14 lights. Thanks, Rich.
Stay positive.
No, I mean I like it. I want to give it. I'm not going to give it a 10. I would give it like an 8, 8.5. But it's also not like my style of build whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Dan?
I'm gonna give this one. You know, all the technical. I have no qualms about the technical things that you said. There's stuff about the rock climbing. All that stuff is spot on. Mm-hmm. The big blue wall behind him kind of bugs me. Because if you were to do that, even if you turn the bricks on their sides, studs out or something, you could get so much more variation in that texture of the sky. There's so much can be done with mosaic building. If you're going to want a variant of like clouds and sky, it can be done better than straight on brick building. And then, when you do brick building, it's a flat surface. You get reflection. So I think that part needs to be redone in order to get the top score. But I'll say, everything else, the figure, the composition, just the crazy part usage. Those rocks aren't easy to do. And to get them in the positions and nested the way they are, that's admirable work. So, I hate to be all in the same cluster, but I'm going to say this one's about 8.5 to 9. If we had to call it, I'm going to say 9.
Heck yeah. Let's roll that 9, Rich.
Hit it that 9.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of good builds tonight.
Yeah. All right, Rich. Give
So
us
I've
some
got,
insight on what you brought.
I got stuff on the complete opposite end of the spectrum as always. First, I have 2 planes that were submitted to me.
Oh, heck yeah.
They actually wanted reviewed.
Nice.
This is the first one.
I want to know what's behind him that he's building there.
Well, it's in the picture. It actually
okay.
looks really cool. I actually know, I guess in a bad way to say this, I like it better than I do the plane.
You're not sharing.
Do what?
You're not showing us anything.
Oh, what had happened?
I mean, I rate this a 10 out of 10 right here. I mean, we look great. This is amazing.
This is definitely a 10 out of 10.
I think my favorite is somehow you closed it out and showed just you on the solo layout. Immediate 0.
I was trying to find this. I wrote this guy's. Well, I didn't write it down, but I saved it. There was 2 of them. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's Instagram handle, but I think it's Psionicus Rex.
Nice.
But this is a Spitfire. He didn't say what model. I know there's like 100 different models.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where I'm actually more impressed with the building in the back of it than I am the airplane.
I mean, I just can't imagine how much those Thor hammers cost to put all throughout there.
Yeah.
Is that what those are? Those bricks?
Yeah, those are Thor hammers.
Dude, I love that technique.
I'm sorry, like the plane looks good, but it just doesn't look as good as the building behind it.
What is that piece he's using as the windshield screen? Is that just one of those?
That's the 1x2x2 bar.
Oh, the windscreen? Isn't that it's the mod 1x2 tile with handle. Oh, we lost.
Yeah.
Drew needs to go find a wall to plug into.
Right. And I also don't I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure those wings are really small for that plane.
Yeah, the Spitfire has a very characteristic oval shape on the wings, like it's almost like a saucer shape, and it's really hard to capture. But it's definitely has a rounded front end and a rounded rear, and this looks like the leading edge is just too uniform. So I mean, there's a lot of pros to this one, but I think in the overall scheme of Spitfires out there in the military community, this probably not in the upper percentile.
So what I just noticed that's bugging me now, and I looked, I don't have any planes that have them, but where they actually have the mufflers, those are technically backwards.
Right. Yeah, they're the mufflers, not intakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So, but there's a lot of good things going on there. I don't want to be negative. I just it's a good model. I think a couple of revisions and he can have a really, really good model.
I really like.
Close this out again.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to move something around, but I really like the building behind it. I know I keep saying that.
Yeah, that's great.
But the building behind it is what
reminds me of like a Wayne's Manor.
Do y'all wanna hit this with that rating?
Sure, Gene. Let's start us off.
I'm a fan of the brick built camouflage on the plane, but something about that leading edge is too uniform from the interior edge to the tip. I mean, there's no taper to it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the image of what it is, but the execution in there, I'm at a 7.
How about you, Rich?
I'm gonna give it like a 7. Like I said, I don't know. Dan's gonna be the man when it comes to the form of the plane. I just like the one thing that sticks out to me is I don't think it looks as good as the background, and there's so many options you can do for mufflers on a plane. Yeah. And to do those and then turn them the wrong way, I think it really, I don't know. Like, it doesn't look bad at all. It just, now that I see that's like what I keep staring at.
Yeah. All right, Dan, what do you give it?
Well, there's some cool techniques going on there. The dihedral of the wings, how it's kind of like angled like this. That's very realistic, hard to do. So that's the plane has some things going for it. That's one of them. I just think that on the overall scheme of things, if you were to go look at other Spitfires, say out on Instagram or Flickr, where military builds reside, this isn't going to stack up in the top top half of them.
Well, I'll play it next, but I've got it. The other plane that was submitted was also a Spitfire, and I'll show you it. But I'm going to hit this one with a 7.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, this one, in my opinion, I'm going to skip forward a little bit on here, but I wanted to keep with the Spitfire. Is
interesting.
It's interesting because it's built a lot blockier, but I also don't know. Like I said, when it comes to planes, Dan's going to be the one to say. I know that there's like a Mark IV, a Mark III, a Mark II, and then there's different variations of each Mark. And then like if it was built Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then what time it was built, and they change things. But
even the camouflages have different meaning. So
yeah. But this one right here, to me, I believe looks better overall.
Well, the one thing I can say about this one is look at that wing shape. That's your classic Spitfire.
Oh yeah, holy smoke!
That just changed my rating. Looked at the top of that.
Well, he's got the minifigure hands for mufflers. They're pointed the right way. The camouflage to me looks more realistic because there's just tons of pieces everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, the scale is different. That other one was a little bit more closer to 35th scale, so probably fit the minifigure inside of it. This one's probably 1/45th scale, so more like your 8 wide Lego car scale, or 8 wide Lego train scale, 6 wide Lego car. It's a smaller scale, which makes it a lot trickier especially to get those angles. You're obviously not going to be able to put a figure inside of it. So if that's a measure of realism or not, that's up to you. But even he has the dihedral on the wings. Looks like the landing gear fold up the way they're supposed to. I think this has a lot going for it.
And I mean, you're not going to fit a minifigure. It doesn't even have a space for a minifigure. It's got a thing inside of it, like one of those the modified plates with a stud in the middle.
It's not a head on top.
Yeah.
So Richard, go back to that top down view.
I love that view.
So Dan, look at the elevator. That's pretty much typical of Spitfire. Ridiculously huge elevator, isn't it?
Oh yeah. So it's he's got the right shape. For doing a model that size, it's remarkably well done. That's a really small airplane right there, and it looks really good.
I'd say I like that better than I do the other one.
I agree.
I'm gonna hit this one with an 8.
An 8?
What do y'all think?
I'm a 9. I'm an easy 9.
What are you at, Dan?
I'm an 8 as well. I think it's good. It's much better than the last one, and it still could probably do another generation of refinement. But hey, this is a really good start here.
Yeah, I think this might be a little harsh, but I like it. I like the top view. This battery went bad too. Jeez. Okay, well, we're gonna do this. I like the way that it looks from the top view, but I feel like I'm at a 6.5 or 7 just because you can't put a minifigure in it, and that's big for me. And I don't really like the other angles per se. I kind of like the other angles of the other one more. I think if these two guys put their heads together, I think this could be something really, really cool. But I think that's what they're lacking is just each other, and I think that could be there. I think there's definitely some better features, and the top angle view definitely bumps that up to like a 7 or 7.5. But if I was rating it off the other ones, I would have said a 6.
So what are we hitting it with? The 7?
Well, Gene was a 9. Dan was a 7 or an 8. I don't remember.
I was an 8.
He was an 8. You were a 7. I was a 6. So that's about an 8 right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now to go back.
Now zeros for all of them. I've seen them all.
This right here is a building from the Siege of Bastelone.
Huh.
And I think that this thing is so detailed and so well done. I mean, it's a weird build because it's not like a uniform. It's the front face of a building, but it also has a lot of like behind interior.
Yeah.
I love the colors they chose. I love even the clock in the back. I love the minifigure usage.
What are the trash cans made of?
That's not
Is that
Lego.
wheels?
No, they're not Lego.
It's not Lego. It's
Okay.
Lippin.
There's a couple things on here that kind of like, I don't know, like in the other pictures, like for one, the tank really stands out. I think it's a really cool tank. I don't know that I would have used that color because that's a really dark green. And
Yeah.
I mean, Dan can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that would have been gray, right?
Well, no, they would have been green. There's just no good Lego green. I mean, it's the closest thing that you'd find in Lego to that olive drab that the tanks would be actually like the old dark gray.
Mm.
Had a green tinge to it, or you want to use the Lego. That's just too bright.
Yeah.
There's no winning with the colors of the tank. You're gonna have to pick one, whatever you think is most representative. But
this is y'all's tank there, right?
No, this is original.
Really?
No, this is not one of ours. This is somebody's creation. It's well done. I mean, those are probably our tracks.
Oh yeah, they're definitely your tracks.
They're on backwards, by the way, for Sherman.
Womp, womp, womp.
We have to
Immediate zero.
check each other, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of this thing has a lot going for it compared to some of the dioramas that other people are doing. This is very simplistic.
Yeah.
So, it's very like maybe it's just the camera angles, but the grid and the building are all in the same. Even though that the whole diorama is turned at an angle, the building is still on the same grid as the studs are.
Well, it's a very, very odd, like, I mean, it's almost like it's built in a diamond.
Well, it's because they wanted to show it at a corner. I mean, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So the building and the studs all match up, but they wanted to show it because how many times have you seen a diorama? It's literally a 16 or 15 by 15 inch base plate with everything plopped right on the grid.
Yeah.
The fact that this person turned the whole thing 45 degrees, they made an effort to do away with it, but the building is still on the grid.
I was gonna say, if you look at the right edge, right corner, it's just cut
right
to fit that edge.
Yeah, and that's I think this was something that was done and they had some really good intentions, but I think there was some just stuff done that was done in a hurry.
Yeah,
I really like the tile of the floor falling though.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good detail. It's a good detail.
But I don't know, it's not a bad build. It's not like a perfect build. I really like that picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my favorite picture.
If you're looking at it from a distance and you're not paying attention to detail, very good, very well composed. Like again, I'm going to say in comparison to some of the other diorama builders out there, this is pretty simplistic.
Yeah.
That looks great though. When you
Yeah.
see you zoom out and stand back at a distance, that looks wonderful.
The weird thing that bothers me though is the parts choice that he used for the border, and I don't know why, but like my eyes just get drawn to it. Like I guess it's the black background on like the light bluish gray, and then the white with the black in the middle. How it splits it.
Well, it's almost like he either matched the color of the background to the brick, or the brick to the color of the background.
Yeah,
it's probably just what he had.
Yeah,
he or she. I'm just gonna assume that there's different ways you can look at it. You can really go, I'm gonna make everything flow together. Like say that the Japanese bridge, where all the different variations of colors were very smooth, and this is not. This is like you'll have a tan piece next to a white piece. So they're not varied. It's just up close, it doesn't work. When you zoom back out and you see the overall picture, that looks great.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you're trying to do here. And if you're looking at it from a distance, or maybe this was on a business card or something, that would look fantastic.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's a great good from far, but far from good.
As long as you're not zoomed in looking at the details.
Yeah.
If you want the overall composure, that looks cool.
It's almost kind of like a mosaic. The farther back, the cleaner it looks.
Yeah.
I agree with Dan, and I don't know, this may sound more harsh, but I don't know. I feel like it's very simplistic to me, that it's almost very blocky.
I really like the building.
I don't. It just, from a distance, this is my favorite. If I only saw this picture, it'd be like an 8 to a 9 for me. But going up close, it drops it a lot, just because it's just too, I guess the word would be stagnant, I guess you could say. That it's just too, like, I see all the little individual pieces that make it up, and it doesn't align quite well for me. Now, if I saw a picture that was next to it of like what he actually referenced, that might change. I have never seen this in real life.
Yeah.
So that could change. But
so for me, it's got some great small little vignettes in it, but when you zoom out to the whole thing, you get lost. So Richard, pan down so you're getting that bottom left corner in there. Yeah, that right there, that whole vignette. Zoom out just a little. If that were the mock, that would be phenomenal. You got the clock in the background. You got the damage on the building.
You got the hurt guy in the doorway.
Cans. You've got a Jeep coming in from the right. They're guarding the doorway. That's a great vignette right there. But when you zoom out and you got the height of the building that doesn't fit the rest of the mock, the detailing up top doesn't share the same level of detail as the bottom. It would have been a great small vignette.
Dang it.
Richard's pissed he didn't get a 10. There you go.
I quit. I'm shutting it down. Going home.
Well, it's been good, guys.
No, like I agree with y'all. I mean, I think it's a really cool. The thing is so this is also I'm trying to do a Battle of the Bulge, or Bastalon, however you want to look at it, and I've yet to really find any crazy good reference picks that just stand out to me. And when I came across this, of course, I actually searched for Lego World War II mocks. It was one of the ones that just kind of, it looked like it was really, really detailed. And once again, it goes back to what we were saying about the guy who done the mock that you brought with the water, is just because you use a ton of parts, it doesn't really necessarily mean it's detailed.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the water, the use of studs as water, I mean, that's a lot of times you do that just because you need something to fill the space.
Yeah.
So they don't want to necessarily build something for it. I like this mock. I think the techniques need some improvement, and I think what it reminds me of when the first modular sets came out, those first like big grocery.
Yeah.
They were chunky, and they didn't really come out with a lot of colors yet. And each year when they come out with a new series of modulars, they got more detailed, more coherent, more cohesive. And I think this reminds me of those earlier days where they didn't have all the color variations yet.
Yeah.
And I think this person who's built this has a very limited palette and did a really good job with what they have.
Mhm.
But if you were to go through Bricklink and really like trick this one out, you could probably detail it a lot better.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Well, one of the things I will point out that me and Drew have been like fighting each other with for the last couple of weeks is the snow placement.
Yeah.
You know, I know that this is really it's hard to come across this because there's so many breaks. But you know, you look at like the snow and where everything is, and I think the snow placement on this is really cool.
I like it. I just don't like the toothpiece constantly used.
The one thing that's bugging me right now,
right?
The one thing that's bugging me right now, which is really weird, and I didn't see it until Gene told me, but there's something going on here.
Yeah, it's a weird reflection going on.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
This
like
is actually built-in studio.
Yeah, that's. Well, I don't know that it's not. I mean, that's.
Yeah, you never know. It doesn't look.
The only reason I know it's not is because the trash cans. That's
Yeah.
It's not Lego. Or
Right, and the brick arms and all the other stuff.
Yeah,
would be very difficult to bring those in.
Exactly.
Not impossible.
Yeah. And when Dan said that, like, it reminds him of like the old modular, it totally reminds me of like when I was a kid watching World War II mocks. Maybe not a kid, but younger, like in 2010 on first time on YouTube. Not first time, but around that time, going on YouTube and searching around and finding World War II mocks. This is very nostalgic in that sense. That like everyone first getting into some mocks, and probably earlier than 2010, but the ones that came across me when I was younger.
What do you want to hit this with?
I'll let you go first.
I'm going to give it an 8.
An 8? Okay. Dan?
In this view, I'll give it an 8. If you zoom in, I could give it an average of 7. So I think it looks really good and composed right here, but when you zoom in and look at the actual details, I think they could be done better.
Yeah.
And that may not be the point of this mock, maybe
yeah.
a piece you look at from afar.
Eugene?
So the thing I like about the zoom in, I agree it doesn't have the detail, but what it does have is the storyline. When you zoom in, you see the storyline, whereas when you zoom out, you see just kind of a mess.
Yeah.
It's good when you zoom out to the level we're at now, but that mid-range zoom, it's just kind of clutter. Honestly, I've got this one down at a 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say, zoomed out, I'd give it a 7.5 to 8, but zoomed in, it's definitely closer to a 6 for me. Just a little too blocky, but I mean, there's always room for improvement everywhere you go. So even at the greatest topists. So yeah, I'd hit it with the 7.
So Drew, I got to tell you, when you started down your little pathway of talking about when you were a kid, all I heard was, as the old guy, all I heard was wah 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 wah. Last week, wah 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 wah.
Wah 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 wah.
Last week, wah 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 wah.
Now I'm going to start off by saying that this right here is 100%, in my opinion, a fake mock. There's plenty of reasons. For one, none of the studs have Lego. These little tree pieces, or the little leaf pieces right here, do not come in dark green. And the other is the like cleanliness.
The figures look very unique.
Yeah. But what's really weird is like the sandbags. That's an actual, like, you could tell that's fake.
Yeah.
Well,
Like that's,
I could tell you exactly what these are. These are Chinese clone bricks.
Yeah.
So that flour sack sandbag is, I mean, how many like vendors of Chinese brick have tried to sell me that and say, hey, this is a great piece. You need to put it in your sets. I'm like, No, it's a flour sack. It doesn't even
Yeah.
look like a sandbag. But those are Chinese. I know this company. They basically make Lego mocks using cheaper brick it's not branded. So yeah, I mean it's basically taking what the Lego community's done, rebuilding it in a cheaper medium, and then selling it. So it's not for us.
The reason why I chose this though is for certain things. Like for one, the gun.
Sure.
Like that's a really good adaptation of that gun. The fact that they've got like the fence laying down beside it where they've knocked it down so they could like set the gun up. It's got a tree propped up against it so it's kind of hidden. Like that to me is a really cool idea.
I like that there's a crossbow right next to one of the seats.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
That might be part of like a greebling.
I will say I do like if you pan out again and go up to the middle where the gates are. I do like that the roller coaster wheels are gates. I think that's kind of cool. I think it does look a little unfinished with it, nothing on top of it. But I like the idea of using that as a gate.
Well, they've used them everywhere. Like it's even up here with tile on it.
I think that looks very nice.
Well, I think that stuff is just the background stuff is just background stuff. They're trying to feature the mocks here. The real stars, I guess, are the vehicles.
Well,
we can definitely tell those flour sacks are fake with that top one on the right going into the stud.
Yeah, well, the bike you can tell is photoshopped.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like the bike is going through his arm.
Did you bring this mock in so we have to do the 0-1?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a render.
Yeah.
It's a render because like even the tiles right here, they have a placement, like you could tell they're not floating. But what's really weird is there's no way to, like, I don't know. You could just tell it's 100% fake.
Well, it's a 1x1 plate with a clip with the tile stuck in front of it, but it doesn't say Lego. I mean, there's so many things wrong with it that you would look at it and go, that doesn't look like Lego, and actually it's not. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But I really like the gun, and I liked how they like took his arm off to make it look like he was walking.
Yeah. That's
I really like
the
gun. I came across this and I was like, man, it's been a while. So we had to hit one, which I guess we don't necessarily go for finding one every week, but
but those houses look so nice.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and
that's
a fifth floor problem. Not in my house. Not today.
I love that one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Dan.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. It came across, and I was like, man, that looks kind of cool. And the more I looked at it, like especially the bike, like look at that. It's 100%. It reminds me of like watching Wizard of Oz and seeing how out of place that bike was in the video or the movie.
Yeah. Oh boy.
That bike's not real.
Oh, it's real.
It's real. It's just not real there in real life.
Next up is a mock that has been around quite a while, and I know that Dan has seen it. But of course, with me wanting to do the Siege of Bastogne or Battle of the Bulge, which however you want to combine it, this is Ethan, the owner of K-Town Bricks, is part of a collaboration in this. And
that's an actual building. That church in the background, that's the actual church of Bastogne.
Now the only problem that I have with this is that this isn't. I'm pretty much planning on doing this. This just isn't as detailed as I would have done it. But at the scale they done it, I can understand that.
So far, they've nailed their snow placement.
Yes,
we agree.
The snow placement on this is like the perfect amount of tile, plate, wedge, and little shark tooth or sawtooth. It's like the perfect placement of everything.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many things in this mock that like the window shutters are bricks that are turned on the side.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's a bunch that stands out to me, Of course, the truck, could do a little bit of work. It just needs to be revamped.
Well, I think I think again they're going for that 1/45th scale. It's a smaller scale, so it's hard to get the details when you're trying to make it really tiny. So that's a different kind of building than say you're going to come out of a Brickmania book.
Yeah. But all the snow, like I said, is perfect.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I like the fact that they did a border on the mock. I really like when anybody does, if you've ever seen any of my buildings that are torn apart, like I love the reddish brown is showing like the roof support.
Wait, pause for a second. Keep that in. If you look at where your mouse is just a little to the left and up, what is that piece that has like a rounded snow on the roof? What is that? Is that a sticker?
It's probably a sticker.
That's not a bad idea.
Because it's here.
Oh, and it rides up the side. It's like the sticker.
It's probably the white border on the sticker paper.
Which I guess technically is Lego. But,
well, they have all sorts of custom. There's custom stickers on that thing all over the place.
That little front shop looks really great. I love that. That's a great little shot.
There's some weird things going on here. I mean, it's weird and it's cool. And then there's like, why do they have yellow guys?
Yeah.
They're going for realism, obviously. Then there's yellow figures and like that they just seem out of place.
Don't switch the page yet. Oh, they have like one of them big figs at the bottom left.
Yeah, I saw the Technic figure there.
The Jack Storm, or that's not Jack Storm, is it?
Yeah, Jack Stone, I think.
Is that Jack Stone? I thought that was a Technic guy.
It's a Technic guy.
It must be one of those Germans, the master race.
Like this, I thought was a really cool shot. Once again, they've used the shutter idea on like every building.
Yeah. What's that string? Where are the strings going to?
You'll see.
Noticed. Okay. Is it for like a K-Town advertisement?
Well, this was like before he decided to do like medieval stuff, I believe.
Well, I'm glad he did because that was a sorely needed.
Oh yeah. But it's,
there was a big void to fill there.
I love like the broken glass. Me and Drew have went over this countless times. I love using like the plates and the slopes and translucent is broken glass.
Yeah, that looks really nice. The boutique sign all the way down, it looks good.
They're taking they're holding up a sign and taking a picture for memorabilia. I love the fact that they use the 1x1 and 1x2 plates to give it that actual brick look.
Yeah, that looks nice.
That's
a great front door.
Yeah, I love the design of this front door.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Minifigure hands.
And it's a brick built door. It's not an actual door.
Looks awesome. Dude, just for that door, I'd give it a 10.
Like the garage door is made from like the modified tiles and it's just everything.
Dude, all these doors are custom.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
That's what I didn't understand is all the doors look really well, but he has the same shutter idea in every.
Yeah.
In every.
I love that the cafe up there is like all blown out. It looks nice.
Oh yeah. Look at that snow placement right there. Like, look at that.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm
not a fan of the sticker use, but especially when he has wedges and stuff that he uses for the other ones.
Like this right here would have been fine.
Is this one person or is this a collab?
I think this is a collab. I know Ethan had something to do with it, but I'm pretty sure it's multiple people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has that look. It doesn't have a whole uniform.
Yeah.
It's like these are our standards. This is what we're doing, but it's not uniformly applied all to every building.
Right.
So I think some people had more time and more money to contribute than others.
Yeah, definitely.
This is another shot of that like garage door, and then the one thing that I don't like about this mock, and you can call it nitpicking, I guess, but it's just how I would do it. Everything on these buildings is like some places are really detailed, some places aren't detailed, but the road is really lacking for them just to have like solid stud showing everywhere, not at least throwing in like tiles or with all this snow, there's going to be water with like mud. And once again, there's a lot more colors available now that you know, nougat and dark orange and all that really help with mud.
Well, they use it in the buildings.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't know it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The road is sort of the disappointment, but I have a feeling that
Holy cow.
because this was a collaboration,
Holy
and let's
smokes.
look at the size of that. They just like at a certain point, they're like, we just got to get this done.
Yeah.
We can't. We don't have time to detail the whole thing. So, yeah, I mean, that's what you end up with.
The only thing I would have done is, I'm assuming that right there is supposed to be a SkyTrain.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And with me just building your SkyTrain, they need to swap that because I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a different scale. And like I said, that's a 1/45th scale. Ours is 1/30. I mean, it's a huge difference in size. Ours would dwarf that thing.
But it's one of those things though that I pay attention to stuff like if, you know, I understand the tanks, like y'all's tanks are, you know, fine to throw in with minifigures because it's not like that far off. But if you're going to have that many minifigures in that mock, why not make that plane bigger to match?
Right. Well, there's you know, the scale wars are going to go on forever. There's going to be people who look at the stuff that like I build and say that's way too big, and I look at those little tanks and go, well, you know, they're cute little tanks that are in danger of getting stepped on by the minifigs.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal taste, and I don't you know, I don't hold a grudge against anybody for being wrong. That's their perspective. They're right in their own mind.
And then this was the last picture. I actually tried to find pictures of the actual like battle that was going on out here with the trees and everything because I really like the power lines. I love I know that it's really like bad, but I love the supply drops coming in. And you can see kind of it here. The strings that are tied everywhere to hold it up, I believe, kind of take away from the mock. Like, I understand why they did it. It's just I don't know. Like, it draws me to them.
Yeah, it's hard to not see them once you see them.
Yeah, This was the last picture I was gonna put up with it. I figured we had enough mocks to show tonight that it was gonna take up a lot of time anyway, and I'm honestly gonna give this one an 8. There's too much. Like I said, I really there's not enough detail in the buildings or the street. I love I guess the snow placement is perfect. I don't like the fact that they use stickers. Like I said, I know it was a collab, but if you're going to do a collab with someone this big, I would think that there needs to be some type of medium that is used and only used. Don't kind of, you know, if me and Dan are building a mock together and I build a house to minifig scale and he has a micro tank, it's just not going to look right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I tend to agree. There's some inconsistencies. They're trying to go for historical accuracy, so you have the streets are kind of bare. There's nobody around. I personally don't like that building for like, hey, we're going to build this thing to the right scale, and your town ends up looking desolate, and you just filling it up with a bunch of empty buildings. I would much rather see more like if you're going to do a Bastogne scene, I would take all the little prototypical things and then mash them into a smaller mock, maybe a quarter the size of this one. You could probably get all those details in it, and then you could spend all your time making those details pop a little bit more accurate, a little bit more detailed, but then get rid of all the filler in between. The buildings, all these cool buildings, they're cool in their own right, but there's just way too many of them. They don't need to be there.
Well, that's one of the things that I was saying. I'm trying to find like reference photos because I want mine to be somewhat accurate, and there's just not this many buildings in any photo.
Right. Well, that's because there's a war going on.
Yeah.
There wasn't exactly a whole lot of war correspondence, but there's some really cool paintings out there. So if you're going to do some research, look for some of the paintings because there's some paintings that when we were doing, we did a whole museum. We filled up the First Division Museum with a Battle of the Bulge series of dioramas, and some of the best resources we found were actually paintings that people had done after the war that were more of like, so you'll see the tank rolling in, the first in Bastogne, that's Cobra King, that's an actual tank. you'll see there's paintings of all this stuff that are actually made it into vignettes that just show the good parts, not the boring parts.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're going to want to do when you're tackling your next, Bastogne, or I want to build, but you're just going to take the key elements you want, focus on them, and then get rid of all the clutter in between, because block after block of empty houses is just kind of boring.
Yeah, that's. I wanted to show a little more destruction. I know that it's kind of hard to tell, but there's a lot of stuff that I feel like on this mock that I'm going to add that he didn't, and I'm not so sure that it's not going back to what 100% of what you just said. I don't know that it was ever documented, but there, if this was back then, I'm gonna say right off the bat that there was probably people in these houses with guns sticking out the windows, making sure that like nobody was coming in, like they were holding down the ground.
Right.
And the other side to that is I know that the Battle of the Bulge was like in the woods, and then Bastogne was in the city. And I do want to combine that to show both of it, because I don't want I wanted to do just like the straight bulge, but I don't want a mock full of snow and trees.
Right. we when we did ours, we did a whole series of them. So they were islands in a room, big displays. There were several of them. And we did, one was Bastogne, one was the city of proper with this church and a lot of the stuff that you're seeing here. And then we had another one that was out in the countryside. We had a big manor house where the First Division was. We did we did one scene where it was a Medal of Honor scene. So it was one guy basically held down fended off an entire huge number of German infantry guys. This is we did like these in vignettes, but they were large size vignettes. I think you could probably get away with compressing those down into a small scene.
Mm-hmm.
Just have it so like when you look at one side, this is Bastogne, you walk over to the other side, this is the countryside. These guys are in trenches, in foxholes, in barns, things like that. So
yeah,
I think it could be done.
I'm gonna hit this one with the 7. What you think?
I'm somewhere between a 7 and a 9, because it's cool to do big scale. There were some very highly, like, the buildings look really great on some of them, but there's definitely some negatives that make my score want to come down. Like, we can obviously put snow on the road, but what about the rest of the road? Like, we can add some detail there. Some buildings could be added some more detail. It's just there's some missing. I don't like the stickers for snow. The strings take effect into it. I think the idea is there. I think the castle, or not the castle, but the church looked really, really nice. The pictures that we saw there, that door, that was definitely a 9, and I mean a 10 for sure. And the way that it just fit seamlessly, it almost looked like. So I'm kind of stuck at a 7.5 to 8, honestly, because I think when you add too many people and you just try to go as big as you can, it takes away from what you really can do if you just not necessarily dumb it down, but make it smaller, and less is more. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And so I'd say somewhere between 7.5 to 7 and 7.5 to 8. There we go.
You all right there? What you thinking, Gene? Dan?
So I'm on the low end on this one. I think they spent too much time trying to do huge, and it made the details suffer a lot. Not everybody can do a huge mock like your castle with all the level of detail you're putting into it. And I think you're better served focusing on a smaller area and doing more detail like Dan was talking about. I think overlooking the detail to go huge is a mistake. I'm a 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in at 7 on this one, which it's not that aren't parts of it that are 10s, but there's a lot of 5s in here too. And I think what we ended up this looks like a collaboration where everybody had high hopes and high ideals at the beginning, and then it just sort of like the reality of getting all this stuff and people not being able to build at the same level as the guy next to him. It shows.
So people popped up that morning. Oh, that's due today.
Yeah, and you can tell it always happens every year. They're building this like right up until the minute that the public walks in the door, and that's probably where we get the roads to where they are. You know, it's the last detail where we didn't have time to do it.
Yeah.
Well, let's hit it with that 7.
Heck yeah.
Now I know what to expect for criticism. I know what I gotta step up.
Well, you know, I would suggest doing for the mock, work on it in sections. Build like this is the, you know, if I'm going to do X number of base plates, say, well, this allotment of base plates is going to be the town section.
Yeah.
Build that first and make it so you're 100% happy with that, and then do the next equal size, and then you're not going to show like half built stuff next to completely.
Well, I've taken a lot of. I mean, of course, I'm a history buff as it is, and I love, for some reason, World War II is just like it was a crazy time anyway. But like, there's a lot of stuff I want to add just from pure, and I know it's not going to be accurate per se, but like, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've probably seen Band of Brothers.
Yeah, once. Once or twice.
The scene in there where they have the Tiger tank covered up in the foliage just with like random brush thrown over it and it's sitting beside the building. Like, I really like that idea. So that was something I was going to do. I was basically going to take one of the net pieces and attach snow-like pieces to it and throw it beside a building. I really like the idea of, I mean, Americans, Germans, both having like, especially Americans, like the Browning 1919, just like in a top of a house somewhere with like the barrel stuck out of a window. Like, I know that a lot of that stuff was documented, that it might not necessarily happen at like Bastogne, but that stuff was going on. Like, they were hiding behind walls as much as they could. They weren't going to run out in the open. And
yeah, you're right. It's a long battle that took place over the course of a month, and a lot of it was just people trying to survive. You know, they dug in and hoped that they didn't have to fight, and then when the enemy came, they had to get up and fight. So
my original idea was to do a mock based on World War II, and one of the I don't know much about it because I've tried to find more information of what was going on, but I honestly don't know that it's not one of those things that was just like telltale. You might exactly know what I'm talking about. Apparently there was a French town and the Germans were coming through, and the Germans were like, we just need to stay here. And the French town was like, well, we're not surrendering. So the Germans were like, okay, and backed out. They literally turned around and left. Well, they didn't leave peacefully. What they did was Stukas come in and just pretty much leveled this entire little town. Right. And then the Germans went in and done their thing. And I was going to do basically a made up mock of something of that going on. But with I'm sure you're the number one person that knows this. But when you mess with anything World War II, the historians out there are going to hammer you down 100%.
There's an 8-year-old out there with more knowledge of World War II than you'll ever have.
Exactly.
And they'll tell you what you've done wrong.
I was laughing. I told Drew about this. Last year at Brick Fair, there was an older guy who came up to me, and the people in the chat that know about this, Whiskey being one of them, was like witnessed it. He came up to me and he was like, I want to let you know that your arrow slits in your castle are backwards. And I told him, I said, I actually know they're backwards. I said, the only reason I did it was because I built them out of slopes and the inside of the castle is lit up. If you build them the right way, it like projects light out of them and you can't tell they're crosses. I said, but I flipped them around and it blocks the light where they show crosses perfectly. And he was like, well, I'm going to let you know that you should change that because it kind of makes your castle look bad. I was just like,
nice.
I'm like, the fact that you're worried about arrow slits, like that's what bothers you. But the fact that I got 100 skeletons out front running towards the castle, perfectly okay.
Well, he probably didn't even see the skeletons. He just saw your backwards windows.
The arrows. The arrows.
Well, how do you know that the guys weren't on the outside of the castle shooting in?
Exactly.
Exactly.
What's inside that castle they're trying to keep in there so bad?
Sire, how dare you assume?
And it was also like I tried to explain to them that they really weren't arrow slits anyway, because I was like, they're down too low. Like they were the first window, and I was like, you would want the arrow slit to be up because you're shooting out and down. You're not lobbing, arrows over everything that was there. And he was like, well, then why did you do that? And I was like, it's just the look of it. I was like, I wanted to cross windows.
Because I wanted to build it. My castle, I'm the king.
Me and Drew have already been joking a lot. Then I'm not as huge Star Wars fan as I come out to be, I guess. I'm pretty big, but I go back to what you just said. There's an 8-year-old out there that knows more than I do.
Of
I
course.
already know that with what I got planned, I'm about to get hounded to the T. So when I do the battle, I want it to actually be somewhat accurate.
Somewhat accurate. What you mean? Are we talking the Star Wars one? Or are we talking?
No. The Bastogne.
Well, I don't know. It depends on how much time you have to do the research. I mean, I've read dozens of books about it, and I still feel like if I was going to go make a mock, I'd still have to go brush up on it.
Well, I'm giving myself a year and a half to take in as much information. And like I said, what I basically do is if I'm down here building or anything, even with the castle, I'll play videos where they're either like people talking about it or saying things that are going on. And when I hear something, I write it down. Just like that Band of Brothers scene is a perfect example. I know that had nothing to do with Bastogne whatsoever, but I want a tank parked beside a building with camouflage over it.
Right. Well, we did ours. We had to do a certain scene. We had to do a certain battle, and in that battle, the Americans hid their tank destroyers on the side of buildings and covered them with debris, and then ambushed the Germans when they rolled up to them. So
yeah,
that stuff happened all the time, and we actually built at World War Brick. When you come down, to be able to see, we saved a token piece of our mock, just like, hey, we did this. And we destroyed the whole thing, but we kept one little scene. So we have that tank with the first in Bastogne. We have it sitting there in the mock, and all the guys out in the snow. So, I think you're gonna like it, but I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Well, like I said, I definitely when I hit you up, I was like, I feel like we can make this happen pretty simple. Sure. And I know that it's one of those things, just like Gene said, that when I built the castle, I don't necessarily think my castle is the best one out there, but I built a castle to begin with that I was okay with. I wasn't happy with it, and I was okay with it. And when you build something, then you look at it and for a fact that you're like immediately, I can do better. That's when this comes along. And when this comes along, it's totally different. People I think that are watching the videos of the updates online and stuff, I don't think they really legit get the scale of this. And I want
once you start, it's gonna it'll be apparent.
It'll be like I said, I want to, from now on, everything I build is going to have the same exact layout. It's going to be 6 base plates wide and 11 long, just because I've already got the mills plates done. If it happens to fall shorter, then it falls shorter, but it's not going bigger. And I believe that gives me the perfect amount of size to not only show what was going on in the forest and the countryside and all that, versus what was also going in the city. And I think I can just blend those in pretty well.
What are you using?
Everybody watching, remember, Richard said it's never going to be bigger.
It won't. It can't. I would legit have to buy. I would have to buy a different house.
It's like the 3,472 times you said, I've got all the parts I need for the castle. I can finish that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Well, always expansion. That's the way it is.
Well, it literally can't. I would have to move before it got bigger.
Well, that's why I build ships, because there's definitely you get to the end of the ship, there's no more. You can't add on to it.
No, you're wrong. Now with the Macon Island, that's where you started putting the hovers out there.
No, they were built. I mean, that was all designed to go hand in hand. That from the get-go, it just this thing called COVID got in the way and it took us a long time to build it all.
You just trapped yourself in the store for 6 months and
Yeah.
let the hair grow, let the beard grow, and just
Yeah.
kept clicking.
Kept building. Well, unfortunately, I didn't have time to build. That was a pretty rough time. All the building the making got done after. It's like, okay, we got the thing done. So it's like 2 years. So that was a shame.
It was a really, like, I know that people laugh at, I guess, people at our age that say that it was a weird time, but it was like a weird time. Like, I don't think anybody knew what to do.
No. No, I was at work a lot, but it was trying to keep the lights on and keep the company together.
What just some random questions. What's your favorite Lego set? Even if it's a Brickmania kit, what's your favorite?
Well, I have one Lego set besides, mine, of course, but I won't open that because it's kind of special. But the Yellow Castle, always my favorite. So when I was a kid, that was my friend across the alley. He got it for Christmas, and I was so jealous because I got the Galaxy Explorer instead. I wanted the Yellow Castle. Apparently they were sold out, so I got the Galaxy Explorer, and that was the beginning of my childhood delinquency. If I would have had the Yellow Castle when I was a kid, I would probably be like a lawyer, very rich, live in a mansion. But I'm because I got the Galaxy Explorer, my life of being a rock and roll degenerate started, and
that's what's your favorite Brickmania kit?
I don't know. That's a tough question, and I had to think about this. I guess I wasn't thinking about what's my favorite, but I was actually did the math. I was like, I've done like 500 kits. That's 500 sets of instructions, the whole thing from beginning to end. There's a lot of Brickmania sets out there. I think we're up like over 1,000 sets now.
Wow.
But there's just not one that's like every time you look at it, you're like, I did that.
No, I can do better. It's that whole thing. Like I look at one of my older sets and go, man, that sucks. and I really wish I could redo it. So that's why we're on Sherman like number 20 now, because and it's not just me, it's the other, we have like, a half a dozen designers who want to take a crack at the Sherman. So it's always like there's something that's just not right.
Well, what really sucks too is when you're like, 5 years ago, you were like, man, I really wish that I could have this piece. And now Lego makes that piece. And you're like, well, now I got to redo the whole thing.
Right. Well, that's actually a blessing for the community. Every time Lego comes out with a new element, it expands our possibilities. But why wait for Lego? There's nothing stopping you from, well, I guess I shouldn't say it. The reality is that not everybody has 3D printers. Not everybody has a gang of like really talented people they work with that can like, hey, let's make this thing, and then a week later you have this new thing that's never been made before. So there's nothing stopping being creative. Nothing stopping cutting parts. Nothing stopping from buying third-party parts. Even Lego competitors. Kobe comes out with a cool thing every once in a while. I don't think I'd ever stick it in one of my mocks, but it's I look at it and go, that's a really unique element.
The really funny thing about like how stuff exactly what you're talking about works is so Legion has been it's not really doing too much yet, but once it gets rolling, he's going to be a big part of this whole Bastogne thing. And we were both, like I said, we were coming up with ideas, and he was like, man, you've got to show vehicles ran out of gas. And I was like, I know it'd be really cool if like we could find like a cool gas tank, like small gas tanks. And then y'all released the gas tanks.
Yeah, the jerry cans.
And I was like, well, here we go. I was like, done.
Yeah, 20-liter cans. Yeah, well, we wanted that for a long time. One of the big things that we have to do is that all that development time that goes into a custom piece like that, it takes time to do. We can't just like say we have. Like I think you were talking about what Victor was saying, all these great ideas this person had, like I can't do it. It's just too much.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, we have to dole out these things a little bit at a time. We have a wish list of 100 items we want to take care of, 100 things we want to do, but we only have time to do one at a time. consecutively.
And it's another thing too that I don't think a lot of people realize, and I'm gonna use Victor in this analogy. I don't go to bed until around 12 to 12:30 a.m. every night. Victor is in the same time zone as me. I can go to sleep, and when I wake up at 6:30 to go to work, I have 15 messages from him where he has sat up all night doing like these ideas, and I'm like, dude, when are you sleeping? And he's like, right now, good night. And I'm like, why did you wait till 7? And he literally told me that that's one of the easiest things for him to do, is just because he knows it's late, but he gets left alone.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's common. I have this back in Minneapolis. We have the warehouse where Brickmania's done it. I call it like my first shift is when all the other employees there, and then the last person leaves at about 8 o'clock at night. And I'm there by myself, and I get more done in that after 8 o'clock because I don't have any interruptions.
Mm-hmm.
I can crank the tunes as loud as I want.
What's you cranking?
He's listening to Slayer.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually curious. Like, what are you playing?
It depends on my mood. Depends what I'm building. So if I'm building a ship, it's sea shanties and songs about like pirates and stuff. But yeah, it depends on the mood. But yeah, typically metal and punk and stuff like that.
What's your go-to?
I don't know. Right now,
or three. Sorry, what?
Megadeth. I've been getting all of going back in time. They were a favorite of mine back in the 90s. And then I stopped listening to them because it fell off my radar. And then well, there's 10 albums I don't even know anymore. So I had to go back and sort of learn stuff that I missed.
Yeah,
that was when music was extremely my mom's boyfriend or my stepdad. He's been in the family forever now, but he's a huge 80s and early 90s metal guy, and I am more of a extremely heavy metal guy. I listen to the newer stuff that's just most people it makes Slayer sound like it's elevator music.
That's your dad's metal.
Yeah. I'm nice, put on your dad's song. But what's really weird now is you Megadeth, original Megadeth, Metallica, Iron Maiden, all those bands, they were an album. Now it's bands come out with songs.
Yeah. Well, you had to buy the album. That was the only way the record labels would put them out. So
we were joking, and one of my favorite albums, believe it or not, is Anthrax Among the Living. And it's just that whole entire album, there's not a bad song on it. Megadeth, Holy Wars, there's not a bad song on it. Megadeth, Rust in Peace, there's not a bad song on it.
Well, they were writing whole albums. It's a little different. But they also had to invest, think about it this way. If you were in a band back then, you had to convince a label to rent a studio for you, hire producers and all stuff. It's a really expensive proposition. So they're not going to do one song at a time. Nowadays with you can record in your house with a laptop. And get
your iPhone.
And you can get the same sort of results. We might as well just do one song at a time, and you don't have you're selling your songs by the song because of iTunes and all this stuff, or streaming services. You might as well just do the one song that's going to be the hit or whatever, instead of trying to fill up a whole album, because the music industry has changed so much since those olden days. But I would think artists like Iron Maiden and Megadeth and Slayer back in the day, they were thinking the big picture. Let's cram as much stuff as we can in this.
Last year, I don't know what, I know that it was during Brick Fair, but it was so funny because we were in the store and it went from we walked in and it was maybe the last 30 seconds of a Slayer song, and then it went on to Kansas, Carry On My Wayward Son, and I'll just never forget you going what the hell.
I think it was the comment was when the Rush song came on.
Yes.
Who's getting fired now? Oh, I tease the guys at the store. The stores have their own playlist. And I had a Brickmania playlist, and I tortured them with it. Here's you can listen to the same 90 minutes worth of music all day long. And then they're like, somebody finally asked, like, we make our own. I was like, of course. But it took them like 3 months to ask.
While you're not there, they're like secretly changing it, making sure nothing's going on.
Yeah. Well, I came in the store. I came into GHQ once. And they were listening to classical music. I was like, oh, you got to turn this off because everybody's gonna fall asleep.
So I'm a mechanic and I work for Subaru, and we have. There's like random times of the day where I'm not going to say I'm in control of the radio, but like I'm the only one that seems to really care. And I have a buddy that works next to me that'll just like, if people start yelling and they're getting mad, he'll go over and turn on like Mozart or something. And like, it's so funny because like there's half of the shop that's calm and the other half of the shop is like, turn this shit off. Who's playing this?
Yeah. Well, we used to play music in the design room during the day. And it got to the point where we couldn't agree on anything, so everybody just started wearing headphones. But I mean, it used to be a job interview question. You went to go interview at Brickmania, like, what was your favorite Slayer album? And if you didn't know any Slayer albums, you were really, really in trouble.
So what's your favorite Slayer album?
Oh, geez. Well, that would probably South of Heaven.
Really? Over Hell Awaits?
I think Hell Awaits, it's got a little bit of rough edges. I mean, I like the old thrash stuff too, but I think if like you're gonna go like some sort of like, they haven't completely sold out yet. You know, like Season of the Abyss was like really, you know, that sounds like
that's commercial.
It's totally, and it's like, you know, it's a good album, but it's definitely made for radio.
Oh yeah.
So
Maya says that he doesn't even know who Slayer is.
See, you wouldn't have gotten hired at Brickmania because that's all. You walked into the office and it was like 80s all over again.
The funny thing about bands like that though is, I mean, they all pretty much started of going against the grain. And like, if you listen to Slayer songs now, like that, because you know they're still making music to this day. But like, I think it was the last music video I was like really joking about with them was was it Relentless?
Right.
Where it's like
the video, but
they're in like a prison, but it's like you could tell they just sold out. Like everybody is like clean cut, even though they're like old, and like like Kerry King even that looks like he has makeup on, and Danny Trejo is an actor in like the music video. It's like, man, y'all going down.
Well, I think that they just wanted, you know, everybody's dream. We want to cash in.
Oh yeah,
and then they did that a long time ago. That was.
I don't think there's very. I know that people like to throw out bands, but I don't think there's anybody that hasn't went towards the money in some fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's especially in the music business. They're hanging it over you, you know, all the time. Like it's a carrot. I used to work in the music business, so I know firsthand how it works, and I worked at a small DIY label, and we did things differently on purpose. But yeah, I know people. The money's there; it ruins everything.
The one band that like I said, I'm newer to like, well, I'm not newer, but I'm more of into like the newer metal. I hate the word new metal because like I feel like that's really
genre of its own.
Yeah, like it's a genre. I hate Disturbed, but like Slipknot is one of my favorite bands, and like you can just tell they went their first album, and especially like first two really was like, we hate society, we're never gonna sell out, and now Corey Taylor's like singing SpongeBob on an album, and you're like, that money.
He probably had kids. Everything changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys they're from Iowa, I think. They're
Des Moines, which is even weirder because there's like nothing to do up there.
Well, that's why you're in bands. That's you know, some of the best bands come from places like that because you have nothing else to live for. So if you ever want to escape, you have to make your own journey out, and sometimes music is the only way. You know, like it's like if like people that get college scholarships for playing sports, they're not really necessarily into the sports, but it's a free ticket to college.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's the same thing. If you can't do anything, you better be a good musician or something, because that's a ticket out, especially of Des Moines. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I've known a lot of people to start bands. I know a couple of them that have became actually pretty famous.
Mm-hmm.
Do you listen to any kind of newer metal?
I'm exposed to it, but like I couldn't tell you any of the band names. We just we'll scroll through the stereo in the car. Liquid Metal is one of the stations that gets played a lot. So there's a lot of stuff coming on there.
Have you ever heard of Between the Buried and Me?
What is it?
Between the Buried and Me. Everybody calls them BT Bam.
Between the Buried. No, I've never heard of them.
They're pretty big, and they're like from their recording studio is like the same one that Guar uses, and it's like 15 minutes from my house, and it's called The Basement, and it's in this guy's basement.
Yeah,
it's
sometimes those are the best studios.
Yeah,
I mean it's like legit once you get down there, but it's in a basement.
Yeah. We've recorded albums in living rooms. We've recorded, I mean, you can do it. It's just a matter of if your sound engineer knows what he's doing, they can the sound. We've recorded. I've been in bands where we had like, okay, this cabinet's going to go out in the hallway out here. You got to isolate it. The drummer's going to be playing in the bathroom and playing guitar in the control room, which is like somebody's bedroom. So
right.
We've done it, and you can get a really good sound. It's just a matter of isolating all those instruments. You can do it anywhere.
Well, guys, we are at that 10:30 mark.
Oh wow, yeah.
That went by quick.
To close out, what you got anything going on this week, Drew? Start with you.
I don't know. I decided I wanted to do I took a Lego set and then make it into a mock where I use just little bits and pieces of it, and I'm just playing around with it, just having fun with it, seeing. Basically, I'm kind of trying to see what I can do with getting more pieces out of the box that I've shipped from my house in California that I can start sorting once I take this mock apart. So I'm trying to beat around the bush a little bit kind of thing. But no, I'm trying to think. Work life has been taking up a lot of my time that when I get home, I kind of just want to put on a show and relax and not have to think about making a YouTube video. So currently right now, not too much, but some to come very soon. What
about you, Dan? Besides trying to knock out your ship in the next 6 days.
Well, I think I have to make some instructions. I have stuff at work I have to do, like actual work. People are depending on me. So, I have probably, this ship is going to just be it. It's every waking minute, unless somebody's screaming at me because I'm missing a deadline. I'm going to be working on the ship.
You got 2 questions. Lego History Sam said, who is playing your opening song for Brickmania?
Oh, I have no idea. I got that off a royalty-free thing years ago. And if people keep asking who is playing that, like, I don't remember. Maybe I have the receipt somewhere in like my hard drive email somewhere.
Mayo wants to know.
I'm not playing on that.
Mayo wants to know, when is Slayer playing an opening gig at a Brickmania store?
We need a bigger store. I've seen Slayer play. They would not fit in one of our stores, not even the smallest show.
You would need to take all the stuff off the shelves for sure.
Yeah. I've seen the craziest things happen at Slayer shows.
I watched a guy get an entire dread ripped out of his head.
Oh, woo.
Yeah, a guy like he kept doing whatever he was doing, and a guy like grabbed it and wrapped it around his wrist and just like,
oh man,
I was like, ooh.
The last time I saw Slayer, I saw a procession of people being carried out on stretchers from the mosh pit. So
a lot of it because everybody that's in a mosh pit at a Slayer concert is at least like 45 years old now.
They played a venue in St. Paul that has a big balcony, and I've never seen so many people jump off a balcony and end up, of course, onto a concrete floor of an arena. That was like the stupidest thing ever, but it just kept happening, and people kept doing it, and they kept going out on stretchers.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
What about you, Gene? What's going on?
Well, probably heading out of town for the weekend. Got a birthday coming up, and gonna go do some stuff with some friends, and probably just get away from the store for a day or 2.
Excellent.
It'll stay open. Orders will still get out on Monday, but we'll probably take a few days off.
Nice.
That's good to do.
Are any of you guys going to Atlanta BrickCon at all?
They have like hounded me about it. and hounded me about it.
Yeah.
I just don't know that. I mean, I honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I probably won't go.
Mm.
I'm gonna be there.
You
Yeah.
are?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Well, we're a vendor. Brickmania is a vendor.
Yeah.
So, and it's only 6 hours for me. So they asked me to go, and I was like, yeah, heck yeah, I'll go.
Heck yeah.
Their show in Tampa was great.
Yeah.
I put some mocks out. I never saw my mocks. I set them out on Friday, and I picked them up on Sunday. So everything was still there.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah,
This will be the first convention I ever go to, so I'll see you
Oh,
there.
that's right. Chattanooga got shut down, didn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
no.
moved it to May, so
Okay.
too much ice on the roads, I guess.
Yeah,
yeah.
People have hounded me, and I've even got a message where it was like, tell me how much it's going to cost you to go, and I'll send you the money. And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Well, how far is Atlanta from where you're
For me,
Yeah.
it's only like I'm in North Carolina, so it's only like I think 4 hours, depending on where in Atlanta it is. I think the convention last time I looked was like 4 hours 15 minutes,
Right.
which isn't a problem. It's just we've literally, because it's what, the 12th, the 11th and 12th.
Yeah, it's 2 weekends.
Yeah.
Not the 3 weekends.
Yeah, February 11th.
I work the 10th, so
Mm.
I don't get off till 1. So there would be no point in me going then. It would have to be Sunday.
Yeah.
And if
I'm
I
only
work-
going Sunday.
I mean, I don't know. I might. I mean, I still like I said, it's up in the air. I've woke up before and said, "Screw it." I'm, driving to Tennessee. So,
Well, don't bring a mock. Just show up.
yeah,
That's what I'm doing.
that would be the plan. I mean, I wouldn't display it all. There's a show going on in the last weekend of March in Columbia, South Carolina. That's when the castle will be shown for the first time.
Wow.
And then it'll be at Brick Universe in Raleigh. And then it'll go to Brick Fair, Virginia, and it'll come back here, and it'll go to Bricksboro, which is a very small show here, kind of like in my hometown. And after that, it's coming apart. It won't go back together after Brick Fair. It'll stay in the boxes, and then it'll be on for the Star Wars thing. And while I'm building the castle, I'm continuing to chuck away digitally at the Star Wars. I've also have started, believe it or not, I've designed 2 destroyed buildings for Basilone. It'll be coming.
Cool.
I just
Yeah.
I don't plan. I wish that it sounds really weird, and I was trying to explain this to Drew, and Dan knows this 100%. It's easier to show up somewhere than it is to take a mock.
Oh, yeah.
And I've definitely gotten to the size of the mock now where I'm just like, I wish people would be okay with me just building it here and showing up at a convention.
Well, half of the mock is finding a vehicle big enough to put it in. So.
Well, seeing a lot of people don't understand. Like, I mean, y'all have y'all's own van, like and trucks. But if I go to a convention, it costs me literally $1,500 to $2,000 every time.
Well, we used to rent the like rider trucks, and whenever we're gonna bring like a bunch of mocks or something, and just the rental alone, let alone the gas, is like $1,500, and then you'd have to double or triple that. Just like if we go into the west, East Coast or something, that's easily $1,000. Go to the West Coast, $2,000. Just for
last year, I took I went to Enterprise because it was actually cheaper than U-Haul.
Right.
I just wanted a cargo van, and it was cheaper to go to Enterprise. And for the trip, which was 5.5 hours from my house to Brick Fair and back, which I stayed there all week, but just the truck alone with the gas was almost $870 something.
I believe it.
Yeah. Because they do give you, I will say to like a lot of people, pay attention to some things, because the truck, for instance, or the van from Enterprise was, I think it was like $110 a day. And I took it for 7 days. But if you rented it for 5 or more, it dropped down to like $60 a day, I want to say, or something like that. And the guy even told me that, which I did buy like the extra insurance on it, which I'm not even sure if it needed. But he did tell me that anytime you're renting a van like that, rent it for 5 days no matter what, because 5 days is going to be cheaper than like 3 days.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
But there'll be a castle video coming out sometime this week. I'm going to continue doing these shorts every day for a year. I'm not even slowly. I'm extremely fast running out of ideas. It's to the point now where I'm going to start looking at other people's ideas and just like, I mean, I don't know how many times I've been asked to do like a room tour. The one I posted yesterday is just my room. I've been throwing up so many videos of just like random castle shots. It's not funny. It's going to continue. So if you don't like the castle, you're going to hate it here in the future.
You just got to start doing and this is definitely no shade. I love what Emily or Emma Soros does. You just got to start doing, is there dog poop in my castle? Here you go. Because that blew up for her, man. That's what made her big, man.
Somebody did call me out. They were like, it was a buddy of mine, and he was like, you did the SkyTrain because you built it for like the first build of the year. He's like, and now you've done the German half tracks. He's like, you have 100 sets sitting behind you that you haven't shown yet. He was like, there's 100 days.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're on to something.
I agree. You got content all galore right behind you.
I will say though that out of everything I've built from you, I don't know what it is, but the B-17, that's a Mac Daddy.
Yeah, well, that was Cody. He's master of the big airplanes. So.
That's the SkyTrain was cool, but it just like it fell short from the B-17.
It's a passenger plane. The B-17's a bomber. It's of course it's cooler.
Yeah.
So.
But I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Thanks, Dan, for coming by.
Well, thanks for having me.
After we end this, you're more than welcome to we'll still be in the chat in the back for a little while. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with an end. Thank you for everybody for coming. Peace.
See ya.